Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm still in Arizona, just thinking about love and thinking about those crazy kids, Heidi Powell and Ryan Lochte, whoever she's dating nowadays. So I'm still here in the love studio, but we're here to talk about something not loving, as some may say. We're here to talk about narcissism and things that are gold straight up, and also to have deep belly laughs, and also to talk about people's charisma that's straight up off the charts. So who am I talking about? What am I saying? We're going to get to it right meow.
Her charisma is straight up off the charts.
So we're going to hear from Craig. So this is a double feature, if you will. Craig Siegel, the guy who is creating lasting symphony in the lives of people around the world from his New Jersey apartment, or wherever he lives, New York. He got to interview Dr. Ramani. And this is someone I've been wanting to talk about for a while. I have sort of I'm so complex, feelings about her as a TV personality. I think she's saturated the market of talking about narcissism, but I do wonder if too much is too much at a certain point, because the fact that she's on every single TV show, she's on YouTube constantly, she does associate with known scammers, in my opinion, Jay Shetty, Mel Robbins, has like a personal relationship with Will Smith, who I would argue is a narcissist. It's just an interesting position she's put herself in as this expert on narcissism, and then seems to be surrounded by them constantly without pointing out the obvious that, hey, I'm on this podcast with a perfect candidate for what I'm talking about. But is it, my secondary thought then is, well, maybe she's reaching the audience that would listen to Mel Robbins and getting through them in a meaningful way, and she shouldn't shy away from these grifter podcasts. So I can see it both ways. I'm willing to look into her more because I see her 24/7 basically on my feed. And as someone who's sought out narcissism content, like how to deal with narcissism, what is narcissism, what, the personality traits, obviously I saw her come up a lot, and I'm sure my feed is feeding that, even though I haven't really watched anything in like 45 years. So all in all, to say, I'm sort of on the fence about her at this point. Like I said, she was like hanging out at Will Smith's house more than I think is appropriate, perhaps, as like a clinical psychologist. But she does have schooling. She does work in an actual practice, so she's not like a life coach. So, credit where credit's due. She has an education and she seems to have knowledge. But at a certain point, does it become everyone could fit the bill of narcissism if you talk about it 48 hours a day? And also, her book is called It's Not You. And I feel like that's a blanket statement to narcissists that might be narcissists themselves, who are now reading her book going, everyone else in my life's a narcissist. I'm curious as to how you determine if you are a narcissist or not. And I feel like she also, and this is just my intro to before we get to the actual interview, I feel like she also, what was I going to say? Demonizes them or dehumanizes the narcissist. And that can be helpful at times, because if you plead and beg and try to convince a person who's just not willing to get feedback, you will, bash your head into a wall at a certain point. But I think it's always a disservice, especially people with a clinical background or a psychological background, not a life coach, who's saying these people are, monsters, they're evil, they're horrible, they're unrehabilitatable. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that would push me if I was a narcissistic person, or felt like maybe I was. And I guess that's part of it. Like, you typically wouldn't think you are one if you are an actual narcissist. But what if someone's on the fence? Because I've seen TikToks of people who say they are diagnosed narcissists and they want to help people understand what it's like. And, I just find it to be a closed off way, or a way to shun a big part of the population, so it seems, from seeking help or getting better. And I don't know how great that of a method that is. Because if she doesn't think of Will Smith and Jay Shetty and Mel Robbins as narcissists that need to be, contained, then I don't know what a narcissist actually is. So anyways, Brooke 4829. Thank you so much to Brooke. Brooke says, bed jets are amazing. I hope you enjoy yours when you get it, worth every penny. Okay, I do have a follow-up question for you, Brooke, about the bed jet. And the police are coming to arrest me right now, so I apologize. No, I'm just kidding. But there are sirens in the background. Okay. If you don't have AC, which I don't, will it just blow hot air on my legs? Because that was a thing that I saw come up on a review on YouTube. They said that, so a bed jet, by the way, is a tube that you put in to your sheets that blows air from a little box. Now, if I don't have air, like I don't have AC in the house, will it just blow hot air and make me just like feel like I have air on my legs? Please let me know. And for that, I say,
No big deal.
and also,
This is gold, straight up.
and also,
Jeez, this is so good.
that's not Craig,
Big facts.
but this is Craig.
Priceless, juicy nuggets.
This is also not Craig.
This is so profound.
So profound.
Deep belly laughs.
I hope we have some tonight. I really hope so. Brooke, what do you think? I hope we also have deep belly laughs every day. Oh, and Brooke is going to respond. I'm seeing it come up right now. Brooke says, no, you don't need AC. It's not hooked up to an AC at all. Okay. I might be back in. Because I just did not want it to be hot air on my legs for $400. Because I think it's like, $400 for the mini. Which I'm willing to pay. I'm willing so I don't sleep. I can sleep at night, but I just need it to be worth it. But I guess there's a 60-day return policy, so maybe I try it and then see. Thank you, Brooke, for responding that way. So amazing. Thank you so much.
Buzzing with joy.
Me after one good night of sleep. JLB Nerdy. Thank you so much, JLB Nerdy. JLB Nerdy says, just here for more Craig nuggets. Well, you're in luck.
Priceless, juicy nuggets.
JLB Nerdy also.
One of the things that fascinates me about you is that you're from Canada.
And also
We have a lot of really great friends
from Canada. Are you from Canada? I don't remember. I thought so, but now I'm having doubts.
You have to think instead of sitting around eating Skittles and watching Oprah reruns.
Solid advice for everyone. I'm sure Dr. Ramani would agree. Thank you, JLB Nerdy. And thank you again to Brooke. Okay. So here's her page. She does a bazillion podcast. This woman is on more podcasts than I think exist. She's on more podcasts than the podcasts that exist. Does that make sense? She's constantly out there. And I see one of the comments. Hold on. If you go back to her early career, she did the same thing with only weight loss. She did all the TV morning shows and had a best-selling book about food. Yeah, she really seems to understand the landscape of how to promote yourself and to promote your product by using other people's platforms. And she has a degree, and she has a medical background. So it seems like she's really been able to capitalize on that quite a bit. And I have mixed feelings. I do have mixed feelings about it all. Okay, let's just watch a random one. Oh, look, Lisa Bilyeu. I didn't even know. I really did not know that was who was going to be here. And yet here we are. Another, person in the griftosphere, if we want to call it that. Tom Bilyeu's radical wife. Anyways, here we go. Here's her talking.
The power of understanding narcissistic behavior, narcissistic patterns, how it shows up in relationships, all that. The power of that is for yourself. The mistake people can make is to try to convince other people of this. And then what ends up happening is you can get invalidated, you can get caught up in unnecessary debates. Now you find yourself almost trying to prove to someone that your partner's narcissistic, and they're like, well, I never had a problem with them. And now you're back into that sort of icky, invalidated space, which really isn't good. You feel it in your body, it doesn't feel good. So I say, now that you know it, now that you get it, this is for you. This is a piece of information
Lisa, leave Tom and start your painting career like we all want you to. Please. We believe in you, girly.
use to forward your healing. The power.
Lisa really added to that a lot. I'm so glad that she was there to receive that information. okay, so that's kind of the vibe. You know, she gives advice about, hey, if you're in a narcissistic thing, some sort of issue with narcissists, then another person. This guy's from the America's Next Top Model. So I'm assuming there's always an undercurrent of like who the narcissists in these people's lives are and what they might be doing and might be thinking. So I'm assuming they're going to maybe like insinuating Tyra Banks, you know, is the narcissist in the situation. I don't know for sure. Let's hear.
Another terrible moment that was in the docuseries was when Tyra was screaming at Tiffany. I think for me as a psychologist, the reason it was so affecting to me is the way they portrayed it on the show was that Tiffany was having some issues with emotional regulation, so they required her to go to anger management. So Tiffany goes to anger management, and actually the way she showed up after her anger management work, she was actually very regulated. And I think this is what I was seething at the television at that point. Tiffany was regulated, which is not easy to learn if you've had a difficult backstory.
Absolutely.
So Tiffany not only learned to be regulated, when Tiffany was regulated, she was attacked. So that moment showed me, oh my gosh, these people have been put, especially the models, have been put into an impossible double bind. That nothing, no matter what you do, if Tiffany acted out, she was going to get screamed at. If Tiffany was regulated, she was going to get screamed at. I think what was so distressing to me was that the revisionist narrative that Tyra was putting forth is, I see myself in her. I love her. That's why I'm screaming at her. I'm screaming at you because I think you're my favorite. But no, actually, they're your scapegoat.
So I was there in the room for that full.
Okay. I kind of agree with her, you know, but I don't know how she, with a medical degree and using her, you know, doctor title, she can really, I mean, I guess I'm assuming she did the caveat they all do in the beginning. Like, I don't know this person personally. I never diagnosed them, but here's my 2 cents on pop culture. But I don't know. Is that good? I just think it plays into, this is entertainment at this point. It's like watching E! News for the news. It's like, okay, you got to know that if you're listening to this person, most likely, even though they have a prestigious, somewhat background, it's past the point of, oh, this is an expert's opinion. It's like she's just given her 2 cents on a TV show at this point. Anyways, okay. Yeah, and I love this comment. This man positioning himself as an innocent bystander is hilarious to me. That is also my takeaway from the docuseries docuseries on Netflix about the America's Next Top Model. Tyra was definitely horrible, and we all sort of know that already, and she's definitely got, you know, she's obsessed with herself and made a lot of bad choices, but the people who were surrounding her were also not very good. And yes, it was a different time, but I think they really were trying to change their image, and I think it worked a little bit, but I think they should have maybe apologized more or keep apologizing, because I'm not quite satisfied. Okay. She's on Lewis Howes. Okay. Another known grifter, in my opinion, another, you know, charlatan, has nothing really to offer other than brings people on his podcast to spew multiple, like there might be a psychic medium one day and a bodybuilder who drinks their urine the next, and then a doctor the next. And there's no, you know, disclaimers of, hey, this one's real and this one's bullshit. I guess it's up to you. And then this says, narcissists don't even love themselves. Okay. I don't know. It just seems like a very simplification version of everything. The soft boy narcissist trap. Okay, we'll watch one more and then we'll go to the Craig Siegel video. Also, why is she talking to Craig Siegel? I'm assuming he paid her to talk because all these people are for sale. If you don't know that, if you're in the conference space at all, or the events space, there's millions of events probably a year across the world, from conferences to like industry events, and then there's groups, and then there's a million things. They're small, large, depends. But a lot of them bring in audiences with these keynote speakers, right? Like Mel Robbins charges $100,000 per hour, you know, to be a keynote, and she'll go to MLM conferences and speak to people and convince them to be, you know, have a downline is the most impressive thing they can do in their life. Or Rachel Hollis at one point was, you know, doing this. She's still trying to fight her way back up to do more prestigious, you know, of these events. But you can buy these people, like they can buy their time. They all are represented typically by some agency and charge tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, I would assume, she's doing that. So I'm assuming Craig Siegel, to try to make himself look more impressive and to boost his own position in this grifter space, hired her to speak at his conference. I'm assuming that. Again, anyways, the soft boy narcissist trap. Can't wait to hear it.
Soft boy to me is almost like a kind of mask. It's the man who shows up with all this feeling, who may actually initially seem very emotionally vulnerable, opening up about difficult experiences. It's often read as, well, this is a safe person who feels very gentle and soft, until they're not. Unfortunately, it's not just a genuinely sweet, empathic man. This is somebody who's almost putting on these characteristics. The traits we then see are more of the vulnerable narcissistic traits. There can be a lot of silent treatment. There can be a lot of passive aggression. They may lash out in angry ways. They may stalk. They may even threaten to do things like harm themselves. The big mistake people have made is they always tag narcissism to extreme arrogance and charm and swagger. It can be, but it
What's this music, by the way? Can we just get the original audio, please?
also can be this more vulnerable presentation. And people who go through these soft boy-esque relationships, these vulnerable narcissistic relationships, they have a much harder time navigating the relationship.
I just find, again, like, she may be right. I don't know. But at a certain point, every person in your life can fit into these categories. Oh, I knew a guy who was really nice at the beginning and then became controlling later. Oh, he must be a soft boy narcissist. Oh, okay. And then there's also narcissists that are mean the whole time. And there's also narcissists. It's like, okay, well, dun, 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 dun. I guess we need to inquire more because there seems to be a never-ending field of content to talk about. So I guess you need to keep going. Okay, so also, I've already said I think Will Smith is a narcissist. Now, medically so or not, I don't know. But he definitely has something going on where he is obsessed with himself to the point where he's got to be on camera 24/7, the people he surrounds himself with, the way that he talks, about his marriage and whatever. I think he's deeply self-obsessed and deeply unhappy. Even though he's in a very privileged, successful position where, I think a lot of people would be satisfied with their career. It seems like he's very unhappy. Anyways, she got some sort of box from him. So let's see what this is about. This is from Will Smith. And the comment goes, yikes. Okay. Second comment. Talk about narcissism. This is a full-on display of a grandiose expression of self-adoration. Yikes. Very grandiose. This is ironic given that Will Smith did, which could be characterized as entitlement, grandiosity, and rage. I've asked Dr. Ramani to assess his behavior at the Academy Awards. I doubt she'll say anything about it in public. This is not a criticism of Dr. Ramani. I'm just saying. I mean, it should be. If you're comfortable talking about an entire population of people constantly and say, yeah, this is how they are, they're gonna fuck you over, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, and then you're hanging out with one of the people that would fit those categories, and then you have nothing to say, suspicious. Okay, here we go. And this is from 233 weeks ago, so everyone do the math, several years ago. 2021 this was. When did he do the slapping? I think that was after, to be fair, but let's see. It says, look what Will Smith sent me. What a wonderful surprise. If you haven't read his inspiring memoir, get it here, willthebook.com. I'm sure you'll love it as much as I did. Okay, here you go.
Just got this big box. Never gotten such a big box.
Wonder what's inside.
Wonder what's inside. Let's see, folks. Biggest box I've ever got.
With a W on it for Will, if you didn't know. Oh my God.
Oh, wow. It's up. Remove the key and insert in the hole. Turn clockwise.
What in the hell? Yeah, if anyone doubted what I just said about Will Smith being so self-obsessed, it's ridiculous. Exhibit A.
Where is the... Oh, is it?
It's up in the top. Continue turning the... Ooh, a lot's about to happen.
What the?
This thing, this... Oh my goodness, this is kind of scary. Okay, clockwise.
Just explodes. He's sending it to all the people that are going to call him out.
Oh!
This is so weird.
The last panel don't want to close. Maybe we'll help it.
This is for a book about himself. A book that he wrote about his life.
Whoa. So, thank you, Will. And we're talking about fear. How we decide to respond to our fears. That is the person we become. Will says hope sustains life. Love, to love and be loved, is the highest human reward and ecstasy, allowing the best.
This is the people that will do a grand display like this to show how wise they are and how smart they are, and they wrote a whole book about their, life advice, and then punch somebody in public for no reason at all. Someone that they were friends with at one point for absolutely no good reason. So that's who you're taking their advice from and getting PR packages from.
Within you to serve and unleash the best within others is the most intense of human pleasure.
Come here, girly.
And then my favorite always is going to be purpose. Desire is what you want. Purpose is the flowering of what you are. Purpose is a way of contextualizing life's unavoidable sufferings and making them meaningful and worthwhile. Will, and in here,
Says, me personally, I'd have a huge set of red roses with tickets to a lavish resort of her choice, not my own book when she's featured in it. Yeah, I guess this is like a gift to her. Like, here's a gift for helping me be a part of this. I don't know if she was a part of it, but I guess she was featured. Here's your reward. My face on a book.
if we can get it out. Oops. Thank you. And it is the phenomenal book by Will Smith, his memoir.
Yeah, again, everyone in the comments, I'm kind of happy. This is a sort of narcissistic display that makes one cringe. Why are you playing along with it? He is love bombing you. You always deserve the best. God bless your soul. Such an innovative gift. Okay, those people are delusional. A lot of horror movies could have started like this. Okay, I love these too, but what's the grandiosity for? If we preach about going within, etc., the show is just for the entertainment of the ego, which is another distraction of doing the real inner work. Yeah, okay, so I'm kind of glad people are kind of catching on, or did in 2021, to, hey, you talk about this type of person a lot, that you should stay away from them, and you should fear them, and you should ridicule them for doing these things to you. Okay, I don't disagree, but then, Will Smith is fine? Okay. Anyways, all right, so let's go to Craig. Craig Siegels. How do you spell the name? Siegel? This is gold, straight up.
This is gold, straight up.
Okay. The real reason you're drained, anxious, and can't stop thinking about them. This is from 9 days ago, okay? Skip ahead. So she's got no qualms about joining a guy who's, pays for guests. Okay, here we go. And he's rocking a new hairdo. It's really cool.
This is gold, straight up. Big facts.
He got a new haircut.
Big facts.
Okay. Here's Craig Siegel. Take it away.
Boundary if someone has these tendencies, but they're really important to us. I want to bring up a friend, someone, when I guess you could say entered this world. How do I say this? There's a lot of people.
Whoa, hold on.
Let's say entered this world.
Craig, my boy, my dog. What the hell is this? If you know this is what you look like from the side, why do you have two cameras? Let's stick with camera A. Let's skip camera B. I know I'm being mean. I know I'm being narcissistic. Dr. Ramani is going to do a whole 10-piece series on me. But what's going on? I've never seen a haircut like this. It looks like a pipe or a penis. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
This situation is a red flag.
Deep belly laughs.
It is an interesting way to go. I don't remember what his hair looked like before, but I do not remember it looking like this. I've been in so many of these generic, office building seminars. I hate to admit it, but I have been. Kim Jong-un. Yes, it is giving Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong Craig.
This is gold, straight up.
He's like, North Korea?
There's literally no place in the world than I would rather be than right here with you.
Okay, back to it.
How do I say this? There's a lot of people that seem one way in
Much better from the front.
social media. Sometimes you meet them. It's not always the same. But Dr. Ramani has always been amazing, such a special soul. And it's not really an opinion. She's the #1 narcissist expert on the planet. And the way that she unpacks the stuff and teaches it and
What event is this? I also want to know. I'm assuming this is some sort of entrepreneur boot camp event that people had to pay for to attend to up-level their life, up-level their business. What does calling out narcissists have to do with that? Exactly. Go to therapy for that. Like in your own life, in your own situation, hearing blanketed advice about mental health that may or may not be true to you is just, I find it to be so odd, but okay.
shares about it, makes it applicable, and really gives us insight is actually second to none. It's amazing. And we're going to go really deep right now. And I do want to encourage you guys, when we do open it up for questions, to not hold back. Take the gloves off with a metaphoric jacket. Without further ado, guys, please welcome to the stage the
Take your gloves off. Really give it to her.
iconic,
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
dynamic, brilliant Dr. Ramani.
Heidi Powell's pissed she wasn't invited to come to this, to speak. She's like, where is my invite?
How you doing?
I'm great, and I've already met so many wonderful people, just like in the line at the bathroom and just standing out there. So if that's any sign of what's going to happen here, I think we're in great shape.
Any weird people from New York City?
I mean, that's why New York City's so fantastic, because it's all weird people. So yeah, and I used to live here. In fact, when I was born, my parents lived right across the river.
She was born in New Jersey and then moved to LA, seemingly to become famous. And it worked.
So you could see where kind of come right over a river, and here I am. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, New York City looks good on you.
Well, thank you so much. That's very wonderful of you. Thank you.
You guys ready to go in?
Craig, what does that mean? What does that mean? Please explain.
Okay.
Ready to get weird? What happened to that one? I don't have that one anywhere. Are you ready to get weird?
Oh, this is really good for me.
Okay. That was Ed.
The word narcissist gets thrown around a lot. Some people right away they're triggered. The word is triggering. Some people are like, oh, I don't know if that applies to me. I don't know if I've ever dealt with that or not. What is narcissism?
So narcissism.
What is it? Again, Craig Siegel is probably a candidate to be prime candidate #1. Now, he's not the biggest narcissist in the world, but I think in order to do this job well and to put your face on stuff and to talk and to say, I have the secrets to life, you have to be a little narcissistic. Okay, but let's hear her example.
It's a personality style. Let's not call it a disorder, because that's just muddying the waters. So it's a personality style, and it's characterized by sort of a series of traits and patterns a person might have. It's low, inconsistent empathy. It is wrong to say a narcissistic person doesn't have empathy. I'm going to come back to that point in a moment, because it's what confuses everything. Arrogance, entitlement, an excessive need for validation and admiration. Like all of us like to be told we're doing a good job, but this is constant. The whole relationship is you always having to pump them up. Nothing's coming back at you, but it's excessive need for that. It's a superficial, status-seeking kind of a style, pathological selfishness, difficulty controlling their emotions. Usually it's dysregulated, like yelling at other people and screaming at other people, or
you're a soft boy. Oh, I gotta read your comment. Hold on. Stand by. I'm getting emotional right now.
Passive aggressive and going silent on people. And so that dysregulation ends up.
Oh, welcome to SK and Sunshine ET90. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome.
This is gold, straight up.
Controlling the relationship. And underneath all those traits, sort of the flip side of this is deep insecurity, very fragile ego, and a lot of shame. And it shows up in patterns like manipulation and gaslighting and betrayal and shifting blame on the other person in the relationship and domination and power and
I also think, again, I'm going to say what I've already said. This is such a heavy, dark, sad, serious topic. The function in which this is taking place is so bizarre. This is like a hotel ballroom, seminar room. Why would this be a topic? Again, like anyone who's going to ask questions is going to be like, my father was an asshole and he, drank a lot and he put me down. Do you think he was a narcissist? Like, again, is this an appropriate setting for an entrepreneur group? I don't know. Anyways.
Control. So these are not healthy relationships, but we have a real problem here. All of those traits, even though they don't sound very pleasant, are associated with success in our culture. So these are often the people who are making all the money, running all the businesses. Even people feel...
I think she does very well for herself, just by the way, I'm assuming. She makes a lot of money. She's probably a multimillionaire. So is she describing herself?
Might be an attractive spouse or partner or something like that. So the very thing we value many times, not all the time, not by a long shot, but many times can be associated with all this other stuff that you may not see until you're in it for a minute. And if you were raised by someone like this, it has forever shaped you to have this sense of, I'm not enough. I have to earn love. I'm not safe in relationships. How dare I succeed?
Wow. Where do we begin?
Yeah.
Okay. Couple things that I heard there. I'm glad you cleared this up. I'm actually processing this myself. So,
Craig, the greatest listener of all time. Wait, what did I ask?
narcissists have empathy. Did I hear that right?
Okay, they have variable empathy.
Okay.
If you catch a narcissistic person
It's like, I don't have that, so I must not be.
on a good day, where their needs are met, they're getting supply, maybe they got their promotion that day, maybe they flirted with someone at the gym, maybe they got a lot of money, maybe they got a new car. If you catch them on that day, you actually are with someone who actually seems empathic. And we read some things wrong as empathy, Craig. For example, generosity is a great example. We assume generous people are empathic. No, they're generous. It doesn't take that much effort to throw down a credit card. Okay? So just because somebody picks up the bill doesn't mean they have empathy. It means they just paid for dinner. Don't confuse the two. Oof.
Was that a mic drop moment? I'm never thinking if someone buys dinner. Oh, I'm an empath, and I can tell that person's empathetic. I didn't know that was up for debate, but okay.
This is awesome. Okay, let's go.
Why? Hold on.
This is awesome. Okay, let's go deeper.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Craig, you gotta think of a question before she's done.
The narcissists know that they're a narcissist?
Sometimes. I mean, again, Craig, when I got into this game, nobody talked about it, right? Now we're talking, you can't go on social media without seeing this content. You can turn on a video. It's the subject of so many TV shows and docs and all of that. Some do.
Kind of caused by you and led by you because you're on everyone's gosh darn shows.
Some do. Most don't. One of the key features, for me as a psychologist, one of the key features of narcissism is that the person doesn't have a lot of insight. So they'll actually walk around the world. A person with this personality will walk around the world saying, I'm a great guy. Why does everyone have a problem with me? Like, I'm just a great guy. I'm a great, generous guy. I listen to your problems. I'm a sweetheart. Like, now you think that you...
Great point, Turnbuckle 10. Anytime anyone does anything nice or mean, narcissist. Well, yeah, you got to have content for the next 20 years. So it has to be all things at all times.
UFOs are in your backyard. You're like, what? It's completely, it's, again, almost delusional. So there's a lack of... The biggest issue with narcissism is there's almost no awareness of how their behavior affects other people. They're very grounded in, I'm great. So if you have a problem, that's a you thing, not a me thing.
But also the let them theory, which she's been on Mel Robbins' podcast. She would, I would assume the let them theory is so good. I support that. Isn't that whole concept? Like not giving a shit what people are doing? No, that's not empathetic. You're actually a narcissist. I'm confused. There's too much to know.
Anyone relating to this at all? Okay, seems like everybody. Wow.
Wow, Craig is gotta think. Come on, Craig, think.
Priceless, juicy nuggets.
You got a good one in there. I know it. You got a question in there. Think about it. Take a second. Process.
Okay, so it's funny because you mentioned success earlier, and I know that there are traits that are associated with success. So how do we distinguish that? Like, it almost seems like because to be successful is cool, that culture almost rewards narcissists.
100%. That's why we're in the mess we're in right now. I mean, we absolutely reward it.
He's like, what mess? It's perfect. Everything's perfect right now.
Narcissistic people make higher salaries. Narcissistic people are overrepresented in leadership. Narcissistic people have more success in dating, particularly online dating. Narcissistic people in the first 6 months of a leadership gig are viewed as more effective leaders. They got the pizzazz. They've got the zazazoo, right? The zazazoo doesn't last, but it draws people in. And
what's that word?
Zazazoo. Did I just age myself? I think people think I'm 1,000 years old. I think that's from the 1920s. I'm not that old. But
he's going to take that as his own. Did you say zazazoo?
No big deal.
Zazazoo, no big deal. Zoot suit riot. Half Meta La Chemist. Thank you so much. Let me read this correctly. Half metal La Chemist. Is that correct? Is that accurate? This is what I have to say to you.
It is 18 American dollars.
I think Dr. Ramani did something with Dave Hollis, too. Am I lying? Did I make that up? Did I dream that? I feel like they did something way back in the day. Speaking of. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Dr. Ramani is a renowned clinical psychologist and leading expert on narcissism. She and lifestyle author Dave Hollis are connected through a highly discussed episode on the Rachel Hollis podcast. In 2024, Rachel Hollis invited Dr. Ramani onto her show. Oh, so maybe not Dave Hollis. Wow, Rachel Hollis interviewed her too. So yeah, she has no boundaries at all for what type of podcast she'll go on.
Narcissistic, bully, cult leader.
Oh, okay. Cult.
This is not a cult.
That's what she has to say every day. Thank you, Half Metal Chemist 9. And I'll give you a light language. Can I see it on the screen? I'll give you a light language just as a bonus. Okay, back to it.
It's that sizzle. It's that wow factor. And we're in a world where things are so appearance oriented, right? We're looking at images all the time. Narcissistic people are also rated as more attractive. They're more likely to go to the gym and be all that. Not to be healthy, but so people admire them.
Again, so should I not go to the gym? Should I not pay for dinner? Like, these are very vague traits.
Amazing. What is the one thing that most people tend to get wrong about narcissism or a narcissist?
That it's
Half Metal Alchemist. So sorry. Thank you. I'm like, wow, a chemist is here? I'm honored.
just vanity. It's just, some people even think it's self-love, right? They think of the old myth where the boy looks in his narcissist looks at his reflection in the water and falls in love with his reflection. They miss the rest of the story, which is he ended up killing himself, but that's for another day. It's supposed to be a distressing state, but we think...
Yeah, I think that's a well-known anecdote. I always want to say antidote, which is, snake bite venom. I thought that was well-known. No, Narcissus, right? The Greek god looked in the reflection of the water and fell in love with his image, and then he drowned because he was so in love with himself, and that was supposed to be a lesson of, keep it together, people. I think everyone knows that, but okay.
That it's just selfishness. So when people use the word, sometimes you're like, what's your problem? Like, so what if they're just selfish? And the other thing is like, well, if they're that, then they can change. Not so much. So if you're in this is probably not going to budge. Make your decisions accordingly. You ain't changing them.
Wow.
Wow.
That was pretty affirmative. Okay. Okay.
I would guess 90% of this audience are narcissists themselves, including the two people up there. Okay, I'm jumping to conclusions, but based on what they've said, everyone is one.
And it's funny because I'm asking the questions, but I'm also learning on the spot, and I'm afraid to admit that. It's amazing. So, how does someone know if they're currently involved with a narcissist, either a romantic relationship, maybe a boss, an employee, a colleague? How do you know if you're dealing with a narcissist?
You know what's funny, Craig? I think what happens first,
Craig, let me tell
is you start
something.
feeling sick and you don't know why. There's a little bit of dread, you know? You're like, God, to see them, or I hear the car coming in the driveway. And then you feel like a terrible person. Because remember, it's not always bad days. This is what's unique about these relationships. Not every day is bad. All of a sudden, on one day, if it's your partner or spouse, you go away to Hawaii for the weekend, you have great sex, you have a fabulous time, you're like, oh, I misread this relationship. And then Wednesday comes, you're like, no, I didn't. You know, but now I feel guilty because we did have a nice weekend. So it's that disconnect. You might say, oh my God, my mother is such a B-word narcissist. And then she shows up and says, oh, sweetie, you're sick. I brought you soup. I got the kids. Don't worry about a thing. You're like, I'm the worst daughter. And then she starts commenting on your weight by Friday when your fever comes down. All right? You didn't lose that much weight, did you? No one's ever going to want you again. So it's that kind of, you get the good, you get the bad. You get the good, you get the bad. That process is called trauma bonding. Okay? And what happens in a trauma bonded relationship.
Is it? Again, I'm learning, I guess. I'm learning as we go. This is all revealing information. I'm so glad Craig was here to facilitate this. That's what trauma bonding is? I thought it was when two people are going through a bad situation and you're becoming codependent on each other because of the bad situation. Not that sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But okay.
Is a person's like, I feel guilty about wanting to leave. I feel terrified that this is going to end. There's nothing but confusion, but I think you feel sick before you know what you're in. And the reason I do what I do is so people have a place to get educated about this and don't think they're crazy. I think until the last 15 years, everyone in these relationships walked around either thinking they were the problem or that they were out of their minds. Once we gave it a name, people are like, oh, this is a thing. And then they lifted their head and they realized it was millions of people. That changed the game.
Yeah. This is amazing.
Again, like, what are we supposed to do? I'm hoping she gets to that. Like, okay, so now we've decided that there's millions of people who have this thing. They don't want to change. They're unaware of it half the time. So what do we do?
You for the way that you are.
Never talk to anyone that goes to the gym.
Articulate this stuff. It's beautiful. Based on what she was describing, guys, like trauma bonding and stuff like that, how many of you just, wow, so you remember
that's what I thought too.
A narcissist in your life? Or now maybe it's making a little bit more sense. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So you mentioned sometimes it could be your mom.
Yeah.
How do we set a boundary if someone has these tendencies, but they're really important to us?
So let's talk a little bit about boundaries, because that word pisses me off. Okay? So let's say you're the one who's being abused in the relationship. Now you're the one being abused, you're tolerating attacks, you're being blamed for everyone, and now it's your damn problem to set a boundary? And it's not going to work. But
Wait, what? Yeah, it's one of those things in life that's unnecessary or unfortunate, but necessary. Yeah, you do have to set a boundary if you're the one being hurt. This is all new information to me. I've been in therapy for 6 years. Wow. I just needed to listen to her because it's all different advice that I've gotten. Okay, keep going.
Continuing to blame Craig. Oh, Craig, you didn't set a boundary. How about you don't abuse me? Okay? So let's think of the paradigm that way.
In a perfect world, yes, of course, but you've already said they're unaware and they don't look within. Okay, sorry for pausing it.
I always say boundaries are an inside job. Let's stop making it about like, well, you're always late. So if you're late again to dinner, that's not going to work for me. He's just going to keep being late just to mess with me if he's narcissistic. I'm not saying you are, sweetie. But you know what I'm saying is that, you know what, we keep saying like,
Well, if you want to come to my dinner party, you'll show up on time. They're going to show up on time, or they're going to turn around and say, why are you so selfish? Why are you so difficult? What's your problem? You're so rigid. So now when you try to set said boundary, the biggest danger in setting a boundary,
But the boundary would be don't invite them anymore and say, I'm not going to meet up with you ever again if you keep coming late. Isn't that what a boundary is? Or I will only come and see you or have dinner with you if you arrive on time. If you do it one more time, I'm not going to go to dinner with you anymore. That is a boundary as well. Maybe I misunderstood something. Some guy 0001. Thank you so much, some guy. Some guy says this woman needs therapy and different eye makeup. Yeah. She's not a narcissist because she doesn't care about her makeup. I think is maybe the visual cue maybe she's trying to give. It looks fine. I don't know. It looks fine. That's all I have to say on that. And also, I'm a medium. I channel all day. I would imagine she is in therapy, but maybe not.
Ghosts, how does that even work?
But I am curious if she talks about that. Thank you, some guy.
what you've done, you played poker?
Sure.
Okay? You've just shown them your hand. You've showed them what matters to you. Can I curse?
Yes.
You showed them how to fuck with you. Okay?
By telling them that something makes you uncomfortable or you don't like something? I'm not following this logic. Okay, let me just go back for a second. I paused it too many times, sorry.
You've just shown them your hand. You've showed them what matters to you. Can I curse?
Yes.
You showed them how to fuck with you. Okay? If they know being late is my issue, they're gonna fuck with me. They're gonna keep coming late. Why would I have that tell? If I say to the narcissistic partner, I was cheated on in the past, so this really makes me insecure. Guess who's going to be flirting with everyone on social media and the server? And, it's so weird. My ex keeps calling me out. She still wants to get back together. They're going to go for your wound because our boundaries are set around our wounds. So don't give them that tell. Don't show it. If you're going to set a boundary, the way to think about it is there's something going on here that doesn't feel healthy. I need to keep eyes on it. So I'm going to give you an example. All right? Let's say you're in a relationship and somebody keeps making inappropriate comments. I don't know about your job. Why aren't you promoted? You don't make enough. Only losers work there. Da-da-da-da-da-da. The existing bad advice out there is like, set a boundary. Say, I don't want you to talk to me that way. Don't bring up my job. No, now they know. I really want to mess with her. I'm going to keep talking about her job. I'm going to share with you something that a patient of mine came up with, right?
I just vehemently disagree. And I guess the difference is, and this is what it comes down to with all blanket advice, it's like maybe in some cases, yes, if it's your mother-in-law, if it's your mother or father, someone you can't get away from and you want them in your life and you've decided, I want this person in my life. Now I have to navigate their narcissism to maintain a relationship. That's one thing. But if you're married, if it's a friend or a coworker or somewhere you can get out of the situation, keeping your thoughts to yourself and not setting a boundary, to me, does not make sense, right?
And we call it narcissism bingo, okay? And this is what we do. When for example, you're going to the family dinner, maybe even something at work, something with your partner, and you know all the things that they're going to do that might hurt you. Okay, you know them. Comments about your weight, comments about your work, interrupting, whatever's on the list, manipulating, gaslighting. I never said that. That never happened. You're so dramatic. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Put it on your phone. Don't make a bingo card. That's probably a bit dramatic, but you have it on your phone, okay? And then you know what? In this lady's case,
and it's like, here's my patient story. I always love that when people have actual patients and they're like, I'm going to tell your story on stage. No, thank you, please, my therapist.
He said, we built the card in our therapy session. It was for Thanksgiving, in her case, terrible mother-in-law, da-da-da, she makes the list. Her and her husband took 2 separate cards to Thanksgiving that year because the deal she made with herself is once this lady hits 5, I'm out of there. And the thing is that whether she left at the end of the evening, before anything, this woman's going to get mad. So 5 things happened before.
That's a boundary. leaving the party. That's setting a boundary within yourself to leave if someone says 5 mean things about you. That is a boundary to me.
For dessert. And she says, she doesn't say bingo. She says, I actually have to work tomorrow. I got to get back. Her mother-in-law tore her a new one. Screamed, yelled, you're so unselfish. How could you leave my son to drive back by himself? But she was steadfast. She knew at 5, it was getting really uncomfortable for her, right? And she said, I felt such a sense of self-respect. And the funny thing is this woman kept doing number 1, number 2. She's like, by number 3, I had to hold self back from smiling. She was like, I'm gonna be out of here in 30 minutes, And so then number 5 happens, and she very calmly said, oh gosh, gotta get back. And she left, and she said it was such a freeing feeling. That boundary was an inside job. You gotta know what you're looking at, but don't set boundaries with people with these personalities. You're literally giving away your hand.
Wow. Give it up, guys. Give it up.
Give it up. Give it up, girl. Okay, so I guess I did understand. That is a boundary. You just have to set a boundary with yourself and don't tell people when they're mistreating you, which I don't really agree with wholeheartedly, but okay.
That's amazing.
But Craig, think of it this way.
Yeah.
If you were negotiating a deal, would you give everything away while you're negotiating the deal?
Yes.
No, the key to negotiation is to shut up. Right? Make them show you everything. You shut the hell up. You don't lay anything. So we know this in business. Obviously, families, relationships are different, but unfortunately, narcissistic relationships are so transactional. You know what the best narcissism book would be? I'd like to think mine, but I'm not that narcissistic. Read it.
You're not convincing me of this woman. Doctor, sorry.
Read a business book. Read a business book about how to negotiate with a jerk. You probably have everything you need to get through your relationship.
To get through your relationship, again, because it's so non-specific, it's hard to really glean a whole lot of meaning from it. Because again, if you're dating somebody that has this, why are you in a relationship with them? That's a deeper question that a therapist should be asking you and you should be contemplating. If it's your mother, okay, that's one thing. And there are ways to, navigate that too. So, okay, but read her book, but then secondly, read a business book about how to negotiate. And I do think people who think of relationships, because if you're saying narcissists think of relationships as transactional, now you're stooping to their level by also negotiating transactionally. I don't find this to be helpful unless you are a narcissist too, or have traits that you are 2 of them against each other. I don't know. Okay, let's continue.
Are narcissists bad people?
I don't like the term bad people. I think here's a complicating issue with narcissism. It's a complex origin story for people who have these personalities. Adversity, trauma, neglect, detached caregivers. There are a lot of things, and sometimes even overvaluation. It's the little kid who's told, you're perfect, you can do nothing wrong, you're my son. And so that means you're perfect. No one's gonna ever give you shit because you're my son. Sorry, daughter. Okay, but you see what I'm saying? When you're told you're special all the time, it is an absolute terrible number to do on a kid, because by the time they're 19, 20 years old, they're gonna feel like the biggest imposter in the world, because they're gonna go in the world and they ain't so special. And they don't have the reserves.
Relatable to me.
To manage that anymore, but they were told they were special. That can even be a fast track to narcissism. I don't like it as a bad person, good person dichotomy. I think narcissism's complicated. Okay?
Duh.
I have narcissistic friends. I am sure you have narcissistic friends. Okay?
And we are also both narcissists in our own way. Craig. Gold straight up Craig. Look at your outfit.
No big deal.
I have narcissistic people in my family. I have narcissistic people in my past. And I have narcissistic people in my present. And some of them I really love. But my God, are they on a need-to-know basis? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can still show up as a compassionate person. But I also know they can only get in so deep. Yeah. They can't know things about me. I can't count on them. I expect very little from them. Nice to have a few around for a party, but I don't think that they're bad people. Now, here's the trick to understanding narcissism.
I just feel like narcissism has lost the meaning. This is just people who aren't compatible, people who are self-obsessed. Like, I don't know what narcissist means to her. And she said it's not the diagnosis. But is narcissist, someone who like really likes themselves, or is there a differentiating factor? I don't know. It's too vague again.
Continuum. At the mild end of narcissism, you're talking about the douche on Instagram that keeps posting their breakfast and thinks we're supposed to be interested. Okay? They're like, look at me, I'm so great. I'm getting on a private jet. They're not really. There was one at the local airport and they're going up the steps, and there's a lot of this. Okay?
So Craig, literally Craig, he's like pretending to be on a private jet all the time. And he's doing videos of him getting out of a Uber black and recording content about how he's a genius. Yeah, I'm not feeling very good about this.
There's that, and they're kind of very superficial, and you might go, this is the friend you might go to with a problem. You always take their calls, but the day you call them, they're like, dude, I'm going to the gym. Like, I don't have time for this right now. It's a selfishness, an immaturity. That's very different. I spoke with a member of your audience who was asking about dynamics like coercive control. This is different. At the far end of the spectrum, we're talking about exploitation. We're talking about coercion. We're talking about severe emotional abuse, in some cases, physical abuse. I might be more apt to use the bad person there, but I don't think somebody posting their breakfast and who's too busy to talk to you about your problems is a bad person. I think they're stunted. I think that they may not be their healthiest friend. I don't think.
Also, maybe you're annoying. Maybe if I'm calling somebody, and again, you have to have self-awareness about yourself. If I'm calling someone every day to talk about my day and they're just not into it, does that automatically make them a narcissist? Or am I being impolite by taking up their time? Or maybe he's trying to post his breakfast because he's depressed and that helps a little bit. I don't know. There's many ways to read this. I don't like the automatic, like, oh, they think that we should give a shit. It's like, you have 2 million followers on Instagram. You think we're supposed to give a shit? Apparently so, because this is your whole career. So it's fine if you do all these things, and it's fine if people in your life do all these things, but you are able to, cast out all this judgment from Craig Siegel's stage. It's weird.
You're a bad person. Then once we go far enough on that severity spectrum, we start tipping into psychopathy, and that's a whole nother machine. That's a whole nother beast.
So a good person,
which is the perfect topic to talk about at this entrepreneur event, mastermind.
Can
psychopathy, great.
Acquire narcissistic tendencies? No?
No. Personality gets baked in pretty much from birth to adulthood, right? So I want you to think of it as a Jell-O mold, right? If you take the Jell-O mold out of the moldy thing, too soon it just splats. It's just liquid on your plate. The human brain and personality, a lot of it happens in the frontal cortex of the brain. The last kind of inhibition and other elements, it's all up here, prefrontal. This is the last part to cook, especially in boys and men. Okay? So that's why we see.
I agree, Wayne. Wayne says, this is exactly where she loses all credibility. She's preying on people who feel like victims of everybody. Yeah. What are the chances that everyone in this room is the victim of narcissism, but they themselves are not? Statistically, at least a few of them have to be narcissists based on her evaluation of what it actually is. But I'm sure if she was to go up to everybody, it would be like, oh, I'm so sorry for your, victimization. Because I think she doesn't think of herself as narcissist. She's saying Craig's not a narcissist. Why? Because they're there? Because also this explanation doesn't even make sense. It's just so vague, and it's like, well, some days I'm nicer than others. I don't know. It's just nonsensical. What's even the point of having the conversation then?
More impulsivity, disinhibition, especially in young men. Somewhere between 20.
Oh yeah, Soapy Lulu. I think they are. I got a couple earlier. I don't know how to. Yeah, I think they are working. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a credit card thing or something. I'm sorry. But write a comment. I'll read it for you if you want, if it's not working.
5 and 30, this is cooked. We think of adolescence as ending at 18, not even close. 25. That's why 24-year-olds still behave like 16-year-olds, because their brain is still kind of there.
Speak for yourself.
And that's why when parents come to me, my 22-year-old, I'm like, slow down. Your 22-year-old's actually a 16-year-old. And when you think of that way, it helps. All 16-year-olds look a little narcissistic. Adolescents are supposed to be narcissistic. It's what their personality is still doing as they separate from their parents. So by the time someone hits 30, and it's an interesting philosophical question here, Craig, what is a good person? Right? Now we're opening up an entirely different Pandora's.
It's what I am. And people who pay me money are.
Box that has spiritual and philosophical overtones. I know what I think a good person is. but that may not be a shared definition in this room. I look at traits like compassion, kindness, patience, ethics, empathy.
Like Will Smith. My good friend.
Those are the things I look at when I think of a good person, right? I don't care if they have $1 in the bank or $1 billion in the bank. You show me those things consistently, it's a good person to me. Again, you may not agree, all right? That stuff, it's pro-social. So some people say, I don't know, is that a good person? It's so easy to just sort of run over them and steamroll them. They're a sucker. Okay, maybe the sucker is still a good person. So we don't acquire these traits later on. The only example I can give you, and I don't think this is narcissism. I'm a lot older than you, okay? So if somebody dropped $100 million on my lap tomorrow, it wouldn't change who I am, except you'd never hear from me again. Okay, that's it. I'm out.
I highly doubt that. She is on more shows and on more podcasts than anyone else, I think, in the game, as she calls it. So I don't believe that. I think she would start her own podcast if she hasn't already and just talk incessantly more, probably.
Bye. Where's Dr. Ramani? Nobody knows. She's scrubbed, okay? Me, my cat, my kids it'll be like witness protection, except like my kids, a couple other people, right?
I don't buy it.
But for many people, especially in their 30s, they very suddenly acquire a lot of power through money or a title or something like that. You can see the taking on of traits that could read as narcissism. You know what I'm saying? We'd call that more privilege and entitlement. I live in LA, okay? So I have actually an interesting client base that has included people who are big business leaders and, people who are big famous people and all of that. It's fascinating when the gloves come off and the shell comes off. So ordinary, it's actually kind of sad, right? They just drive a car that's worth everything I'll ever see in my life. That's all. They just have stuff. Some of them are what I'm saying.
I'm not buying that she's not loaded. I'm sorry. I don't have any money. Yeah, right. Give me a break.
Good people. And some of them, not so nice. They're very narcissistic. But that stuff was there before they ever became famous. Does that make sense? So I think privilege can make it so a person's a bit abrupt. They kind of rush out of a room. They expect a certain level of treatment. But if someone took them aside and said, "Nah, not cool," they might say, "I apologize. I shouldn't have done that," and they'll quickly click back into that. So we have to be careful we don't confuse privilege and entitlement fully with narcissism. They're not nice traits, but they don't make someone a narcissist. After 30, you're not acquiring these qualities unless you've had a head injury. Like somebody gets bonked on the head, they could acquire traits that look like narcissism, like a central nervous system injury, a tumor, like some other sort of disease process in the brain can cause that change in personality. Some dementias can do that too. So those are much more rarefied situations.
I love the way you distinguish and articulate.
I guess their mic's cut out for a minute. I hope it comes back. They're probably doing some tech work on the microphone setup.
This, and it's interesting because we're talking about business a lot. There are some spiritual giants in this room here today. And I know one of the things that we talk about as we ascend and have ambition and want to build big business and change the world is keeping our ego in check.
Yeah, people who want to change the world are definitely not narcissists for sure. Who want to change their world through their MLM downline, through their online career coaching business. Okay, I shouldn't say career coaching. On their online life coaching business, they're going to change the world by posting gym selfies and saying, if you're looking for a sign, here's a sign to go to the gym. This is going to change lives and I deserve extra praise and your 18 stinking dollars. I guess.
I love to hear how ego is connected to narcissism, and also when we're building something huge and we're really doing some pretty important, great stuff in the world, how do we make sure that we don't tap into any of those narcissistic traits? I mean, keep ourselves in check. And can you build something so big and powerful without dipping your toe in the water to narcissistic traits?
So let's start with
that
the
was
word
a lot.
ego. There's a lot, and I got it. Right? It's like a multi-part essay question. I'm ready.
You got me so excited.
Right?
Give it up for Dr. Ramani. You have me jacked.
Woo! Narcissism! Woo! Tell me about people who abuse others! Woo! Sorry, Tara. Right? Isn't it a weird topic? Like, is this supposed to be inspirational or what? Like, we've really lost the plot on what is appropriate for group meetings.
Ego right? Ego isn't that. Okay, so we got to stop giving ego a bad brand. Ego is I want you to, if we didn't have skeletons, we would be a pile of liquid and schmutz on the floor. We really would be, right? The skeleton, our endoskeleton as it were, is what keeps all this schmutz standing around and walking around. We need it, right? That's an endoskeleton. Ego, to me, when it's healthy, is a psychological endoskeleton. And healthy ego means we know who we are, we know our capabilities.
I'm someone who likes to post my breakfast every morning. Apparently that makes me a narcissist. Apparently he's watching the Powerball. Narcissist. Okay, sorry.
Capabilities, we know our weaknesses, we know our vulnerabilities, and
she's saying we because she is a perfect person.
We recognize that there are people outside of us who are being affected by us. That's healthy ego. All day, all night. Love it. Okay? Narcissism is unhealthy ego. It's not too much ego, it's unhealthy ego. It's ego at the cost of others. It's ego that is an exoskeleton, stuff and status and power and domination. Healthy ego is none of those things, right? So even sort of Buddhist and Hindu writings that talk about sort of the leaving of the ego, I think that gets more.
I think anyone who calls themselves a spiritual guru or leader is probably a narcissist. You think you have some sort of special conduit to things above God or God level, and you are speaking to the universe or getting signs directly from God, and you're going to charge money or lead some sort of congregation. Now, does that make you incapable of doing that? No, but I think it does require narcissistic traits. So again, the room is filled with spiritual leaders. Okay, then they're all narcissists too.
And I don't want to get too deep into the sort of Eastern religion, weeds, but, we talk about things like moksha and our physical body, right? And that there's a spiritual center to us, and the rest of this is just sort of window dressing, right? That's not what I'm talking about, okay? I think that's vocabulary at that point about, so I think healthy ego can be this authentic, healthy self that knows itself, all right? I told you a story upstairs, okay? I want to tell, and I want all of you to listen to this because it comes to your point of building a healthy business. I think the danger of talking about this only in terms of narcissism and ego is we miss the flip side. Some of you in this room had narcissistic parents. Some of you had parents who loved you only conditionally, who might
and also say some of you are narcissists. Please.
Have even harmed you. So you learned that you were only lovable if you put up and shut up, if you gave in as a
Just learn to word. Okay, I need to get a drink. I'm so thirsty. I'm like, it's 100 degrees in this apartment. I haven't got the bed jet yet. Tara, run the show. Run the show, Tara. Who's a narcissist in your life? Just you, Mommy. Just you. I know. Out of the one person you interact with on a daily basis, I am the most narcissistic of them all.
Child, you never got to experience safety. And I don't necessarily mean because you're physically abused. I mean because you couldn't be yourself, right? So I was telling Craig,
get your
my book, It's Not You, got on the New York Times bestseller list, okay? And that
But what is it called?
It's Not You,
I want
okay?
everybody to
It's
know.
Not You.
Classic.
So my
Classic. He hasn't read it. What's it called? Your book? What's it called? Classic. I didn't know what the name of it was 1 second ago, but it's a classic.
point, so I had spoken to an audience of business leaders back in November, and I said to them, look at this book. It's on New York Times bestseller list, so doesn't that just make me the shit, right? Not really. Now, I'm very proud of the achievement.
I'm not buying this. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not buying what she's selling. She's the expert on narcissism, right? So she would be the expert on what to say to try to appear like you're not a narcissist, right? And I feel like she's like, shucks, I was on the New York Times bestseller list. It's called It's Not You, and you should pick it up right now. And Craig, you should pitch it real quick. But I don't even care about that. I'm just a little doctor. I don't even care that my book was so successful. It's like, yes, you do. You do care. You care that you're connected to Will Smith. You care that you're on Mel Robbins' podcast. You care to show up to Craig Siegel's mastermind, whatever the hell this is. Come on.
But it became, and I literally said to my team, come hell or high water, this book is getting on the list, but I don't have the money to buy my own book. So we're going to have to actually make people buy this book. So for the next...
If anything, that's even more narcissistic, what she just said. I'm going to make this book number 1. Okay, who cares? Other than you. It's just a vanity number. I don't have money like other people who can just buy their books, which is true, and it is an annoying thing that people can do. But now she's saying she's even better than those people because she did it organically. Narcissist alert!
This situation is a red flag.
She doesn't like me screaming.
6 months.
I don't blame her.
You were part of that campaign. I was on here. I met your community and everything. Day and night, Christmas, my birthday, my kids didn't see me. Like, it was all, I had to get this done. It got done. But when I look back, I thought, okay, got done. Very proud of it. But it was so obsessive.
She goes to the Mel Robbins School of Narcissism. As long as you say that you've considered that your thoughts are what you've done is narcissistic, then it's forgiven.
For me, because I was trying to heal a wound. You're not enough, and you're only going to be seen if you do something important enough to make you seeable, to make you lovable, right? Getting on the New York Times bestseller list felt less like an achievement and more like an attempt to get psychological safety in the world.
Ooh.
Okay, if you say so.
Okay? I want all of you to dig deep into yourselves and look into some of your deepest achievements. I wonder.
But the thing is, the irony of it is, if the story was, I didn't make the list and I'm still successful and I still feel good about myself and I learned that it's not all about that. But she did make the list. So now she's going to lecture us about, you need to be not narcissistic. I went and achieved my goal. But, if you don't, then you're just not as good as me, actually. I don't know. It's like I got something that I really wanted, but it's actually not that big of a deal. That hurts more than just being proud and happy that you've accomplished something.
How much of this was simply so you could be seen, cherished, and loved? There was a little 5-year-old girl who desperately was trying to get the attention of the adults around her. And at almost the age of 60, did this thing. You know what? It's ironic. Those adults didn't notice a damn thing. People said, aren't you proud of your daughter? And those adults said, what? And it no longer mattered. The monkey was off my back, but it wasn't about ego. It was about safety. And
I think it's just her way of excusing her own narcissistic traits. Oh, for her, it's different because it's about safety. Yeah, it is for everybody. I think even narcissists, they're doing it for a reason. But in her case, it's different and it's actually fine. But for other people that post their breakfast, they're narcissists. Okay, got it.
So did getting the book on the list lead me to feel a little more safe? Ironically, yeah, because it got the monkey off my back, because that lack of safety was now something the child part of me was carrying. It's no longer real. These people have no longer power over me. I take care of myself. I do my own thing. But here's where the story takes an interesting twist. I talked to some other people who had written books since, in the years after. Tell me, Dr. Ramani, how'd you get your book on the list? And I said, I'd be happy to tell you. No, share you exactly the strategy. And I laid it out step by step, and they looked at me like, girl, you're high. I am not doing all that. How did you? They said, that's going to take all my time. I said, yeah. And they said, no, I want a balanced life. I want my weekends. I want my evenings. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not a thing. And they said, no, balance is more important. I gave that advice to 4 people. None of the 4 took it. And guess what happened?
What?
None of their books made the list.
Oh my God! Spoken like a true narcissist. I'm sorry. I don't like this lady.
I wish I could have said, see, if this was a real TED Talk, I'd say, and all their books made the list, so you should seek out balance. No. People who have been hurt and traumatized are usually the most successful people in the room because they're fighting against something so big and so powerful, and it's not ego, it's safety, and that's the loudest voice in you.
Okay, but under this logic, aren't the narcissists also just trying to seek safety because they want everyone to be obsessed with them and these big grand gestures and people paying attention to them? Isn't that about safety as well? So either we're all narcissists or none of us are narcissists. But in her case especially, she worked harder than everyone else, and it proved to be she's specially got her book on the New York Times bestseller. The other 4 people couldn't get it because they didn't put as much work and effort into it, and there was nothing else going on. Again, that sounds like a narcissist. She's trying to be special. That's what she said. If you're trying to be special as an adult, you're a narcissist.
Okay? And if you have been raised like this and you've been through this, your life becomes a crusade to, I am going to show you I matter. And that's how you're building all this ridiculously impressive stuff you're all building. But at some point, you gotta let that terrified child in you know, you did good and I got you. You don't owe anyone anything.
But in her case, she did owe herself to win this achievement. And the people who didn't get the achievement. I don't know. Okay.
Please take that from here today.
She's like, I didn't have to learn that lesson because I accomplished what I wanted. You guys should just accept defeat because you're not going to be as hard of working as I am. She's really pulling from the crevices of her ass for this to connect it to entrepreneurship. I'm sorry to say also.
It's so interesting because we're talking about this idea between wholeness and lack when I was speaking before you came up. And everything that you just shared reminds me of just that. Because
what, lack?
Lack outsources. I need this to feel safe, or I need this to feel worthy. But just being able to go, you got this, I'm proud of you. You're good as you are. And also, wouldn't it be nice if? That's a whole different consciousness. Is that kind of, we're talking about wholeness?
Yeah, when I'm talking about wholeness, like you're talking.
I thought he was talking about homeless. I'm like, who's homeless here? You ever see that Grant Cardone clip? Hey, homeless guy, clap it up. It's kind of a meme now. Anyways, I'll play it later.
Talking about sort of the fully developed adult self, right? We're no longer responding to this primal voice of like, I need to be safe, I need to be safe. Because there's a word we use in psychology called agency, right? If we're always responding to safety.
This is the thing, Gabe, good question or good statement. Everyone has narcissistic traits. Being an actual narcissist is different. I agree. And she started this whole conversation saying, we're not talking about the disorder. So we're just talking about traits. But then she's saying like some people have it, some people don't. She's one that doesn't have it, of course. I'm just so confused. It seems like it's just really depending on how she feels and what she wants to believe at any given time. Which if you apply the advice, it's like if you want to feel like someone's a narcissist, you can convince yourself of it. If you want to think they're not, you can also do the same. So is it really useful advice? Not in this context, to me.
And fear. We can build incredible things, but we're going to wear ourselves out. But when the moment comes when we're like, I understand where some of this drive comes from, and I'm going to access this, but I can also take a step back. I can care for myself. I can look at this more wholly. Then we can get that balance, that wholeness, as you say. But I got to tell you, Craig, a lot of people do the empire building when they're in some of their most traumatized states.
Does that make it wrong?
Doesn't make it wrong at all. I think my concern is people getting burned out and exhausted, and honestly, not looking at the incredible things that they have created. Because when people go through these relationships, and they think if they take a moment to even look at what they've created, they're terrified that someone's going to take it away. The parent's going to say, who cares, son? That's not that big a deal. In my day, we did this. I could have done 10 times more if I had all the opportunities you have. Or the ex-spouse saying, oh, God, whatever, you need so much attention. So there's a fear, there's a desperation to still say, look what I've created. And then there's still that fear of if I stick my head out too far, it's going to get lopped off.
Yeah, amazing. I want to do something weird. I want to open it up real quickly, but I want to just say,
let's get weird, shall we?
Ask you off the cuff, and this is probably a Pandora's box. Let's go too far, but is spirituality something that's important to you?
I'm curious. She's like, oh shit, I gotta answer. And for the record, just here's my hot take on this. As someone who, again, has sought out this type of content, like when I consider my mom to have very narcissistic traits, right? And when I was kind of figuring that out, I couldn't get enough of people talking about what narcissism is. I'd never heard of it. But at a certain point, I think it was hurting me to keep listening to it over and over and over again, because then I start to go, everyone in my life is a narcissist. And if you think everyone in your life is a narcissist, then you're going to feel really lonely, I think. And also, I'm questioning her personal ethics that she claims to have by going on grifter platforms. So that's my hot take. what she's saying is whatever. I don't know. I don't find it very valuable anymore, personally.
Yes, yeah, very much so.
Are you open to sharing what that looks like?
Yeah, so I was raised in a traditional Hindu family, okay? And it was, and my parents immigrated so long ago that there was really not a way to do it outside of the house. So Hinduism is very much a religion practice in the home, right? The shrine, and my mom, who passed suddenly this July, but I carry her spirituality very much part of our lives. And so I think for me, even the narcissistic folks, but I think it's buried under so much stuff, we're never going to get to it. There is this true, again, this energetic force inside of everyone. That's the piece, again, in Hinduism. We call it moksha. It's the energy that goes forward. All the rest of this is just, it's nonsense. Like those of you who are Buddhist in your focus, we talk about Maya, which is the illusion of the material world. So I believe within everyone there's this extraordinary spirit that's gotten butchered by this world, that has expectations. If everyone could be seen as they are, I mean, the human potential would actually almost blow us up. I mean, most people have been limited by these conditions of worth. You need to do this, you need to be this, you need to look like this. And it's not just parents, it's social media saying you need to have this car, you need to have this face, you need to look 20 when you're 60, you have to look 50 when you're 100, you have to live till you're 140 years old. And so much of the religious practice I was brought up in was, how do you stay in a moment? How do you stay in your body? And our bodies carry all this truth, and the disconnect between here and this is the source of half the problem. So for me, it's very much that I believe that there's insane amounts of healthy, untapped, gorgeous health and potential in people that has been blocked by these conditions of worth or by the insecurities of narcissistic people who are being given the keys to the kingdom and telling everyone else, like, I'm going to step on your heads so you're this small and I can be this big. A healthy person, in a healthy relationship, you can succeed, I can succeed, and it's fine. In a narcissistic relationship, the other person has to be down so the other person can be up. There's no shared success. There's no shared power, if you will.
Okay, but again, I don't mean to, and I do mean to harp on it, but the breakfast thing, it was really the thing that's sticking with me. Because again, like she's saying, in order to be narcissist, other people have to be down and you have to be up. In the breakfast scenario, who's down in that? By posting on your own breakfast, your breakfast. And in her words, you're expecting people to give a shit. Okay, but how is that putting anyone down by doing that? So I don't understand the definition of what she's saying narcissists are. It's varied based on what she's saying.
The word power doesn't matter. So that's what I believe. It's that everyone has this capacity to, all of us, everyone, city, everyone has this part of us. Now the most messed up people out there, you're just never going to get to it. There's just too much of that darkness around it. It's too buried. It's almost like an archaeological site that we don't have the tools to get to.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Pulling back the curtain. And give it up, guys. And
so is she Hindu anymore or religious? I didn't really get an answer.
It's funny, you mentioned something. We live in a world right now that celebrates, like you said, people that are 70 looking 25.
Thank you. This is actually a dress. Can you believe it?
Spending all this money and longevity and biohacking, and to the extent I understand why someone would want to do that for the right reasons. Sure. But there's so many people are so keen on how they look compared to what they are. Correct. I imagine it's narcissistic.
I think that
he's like, is it narcissistic? Also, get the camera pointed at my new do. Real quick. And are you getting a close up of my 3-piece navy suit here?
If a person, listen, I've sat in front of enough longevity conferences where, like, if you eat exactly this and you sleep exactly that and you do exactly this, and I'm like, you have no one in your life, clearly, if you're able to do all of it. You know what I'm saying? It's this trade-off, right? Somebody's like, I'm going to eat my kale at 4:30 in the morning, and at 4:40 I'm going to go do this, I'm going to meditate for this man. By the time I'm a caregiver of an elderly parent, I've got 2 kids, I've got a business I'm running, I've got some other family members with stuff. By the time I get through that checklist, kale. Like, I'm lucky that I've picked up a brown banana and a Diet Coke. You know what I'm saying? So it's this, I think that these unrealistic standards, but I will tell you this, that whole morning was driven by compassion. You know, is the older person, or is someone checking in on them, or am I checking in on them? Have I checked in on the patient? I'm not saying I'm some kind of damn saint or anything like that.
But you are saying that. She's not beating the narcissism allegations. Whoever smelt it dealt it, right? She doesn't even have time for kale because she's caring about elderly people. Huh? It's like, let people live, I think. If some people want to live their life and eat kale at 4 p.m., that doesn't make them a narcissist or a bad person. I'm sorry. But that makes her a good person because she drinks a Diet Coke instead? What? She's lost me completely now. And that was my fear. How can you go on all these podcasts and still make coherent sense and not be boring at a certain point? It's because she's just making shit up to be entertaining. And that's what we need to know this is, in my opinion. Turnbuckle 10. Thank you so much, Turnbuckle 10. Turnbuckle says, shout out to all my fellow narcissists. Looking at you, Wayne. Wayne in the house. Wayne in the house. And I have this to say.
Certain? I was not.
I feel like I'm a clown in a circus.
I'm kind of a wild guy.
I just liked being able to get away with whatever I wanted.
I am the most liberal.
Thank you, Turnbuckle 10. I appreciate it. Last one.
My family thought I was off my rocker.
True. Yeah, I agree. This is exactly what I feel like. She says some good stuff and then she humble brags so hard. Spoken like a true narcissist. And also, Knife, you're a narcissist because you... Oh, no, wait. You're not a narcissist because you ate a brown banana and that is a sign of virtue. Apparently. I just learned. Okay. All right.
What I'm saying is it's in alignment with value. And what I really believe, and this is where I'm kind of sick of this whole longevity biohacking world, is it's not a living in alignment with values. Unless a person's value is I want to live to be 150 years old, to what point everyone you know is going to be dead. There's no consideration of other human beings. I don't want to be the last one standing. I don't want to watch all my friends and my sister and everyone die. I kind of like to go in the middle of the pack. I just want someone in the room when I die. You know? And so it's someone at the funeral. If you go last, who's going to show? And so that's but I think that the concern is, and I'm going to be very frank with you guys, if somebody asks me, what is the factor that is contributing to early mortality above all else, more than smoking and everything?
More than smoking. Okay. Let's hear it. Diet Coke. More than smoking, what's leading to early death. This is going to be a big statement. I can't wait.
Mortality above all else, more than smoking and everything, I think it's being these kinds of relationships. Living a life of invalidation, manipulation, emotional abuse.
Now, is this backed by science in any fucking way at all? It feels like, again, she's pulling stuff out of her ass. Oh, smoking? Bad. But being in a narcissistic relationship is worse. Okay, sure. That's a theory. Is there any backing to support that? I don't know. I'd love to hear it.
It messes you up. It screws with corticosteroids. It screws with neurohormones. It screws with neurotransmitters. In my community, thousands of people are going through these narcissistic relationships. I want you to take a guess. Okay, so I'm telling you now, the rate of autoimmune illnesses in the population is...
In my community? Oh, no.
It's 3 to 5%, okay? Tell me what the rate of autoimmune illness is in my community.
In my community of narcissist hunters, we go out with pitchforks and just slay the population. They're my community.
People who are survivors.
What?
Survivors of what?
10%?
80%.
80.
80%.
Aghast. Is that the right term? Or is it a gasp? I'm aghast.
They get cancer, they don't get better. They get ill, it goes faster. They get ill, nobody cares for them. So you've got to understand that, honestly, stick your tail up your ass, get these people out of your life.
What people, though? I still don't know what people I'm supposed to be kicking out of my life. And if someone does something wrong to me, I'm supposed to not tell them. What?
I'm sorry.
What? Nice. This is awesome. I'm just taking in the moment.
He is searching for validation, which I've heard is a narcissistic trait of some. You guys get a load of this? Get a load of my guest that I spent 10 grand on.
This is great. She's awesome.
She's
You're
so
the best.
awesome.
Says the woman who drinks Diet Coke. Here's hoping.
Oh, she drinks Diet Coke. She's so relatable. I want to be relatable. That's actually the vibe I'm getting here. And also,
I love selling stuff online.
I want to be relatable.
of course, she has a community also. You can't, this is the thing too. You can't actually help thousands of people as one clinician. You can't. You could write a book and give your 2 cents and go on podcasts and give your 2 cents, but to collect a community, and I'm assuming charge money to be in her presence and to hear about her theories on stuff, you're actually doing these people a disservice. I think you should direct them into one-on-one counseling personally, and then only offer these larger things as like supplemental to start to go, my community is special and they all have autoimmune disease and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, maybe they should seek actual help from someone who can actually get to know that person, because you are one person and don't physically have enough time or bandwidth to do it. Anyways.
I want to do something. Oh, for
What is my You know what? I love the kale, but like the kale, you can't have the kale and the narcissistic marriage to think you're going to live a long time. Like, drink the Diet Coke, get rid of the kale, get rid of the husband, and you're
Again, this is like speaking of dinner parties, this is like someone who has an opinion at a dinner party. This is not a doctor who's giving their clinical opinion on personality disorders. Dump your husband who's a narcissist. It'll be better for you than smoking, huh? Drink a Diet Coke, not kale. What are you saying? Okay, sorry.
This is amazing, guys. I want to do something interesting. I want to bring us together as a community here. I'm a huge advocate for community, what we're doing here. Dr. Ramani has her own community. I think it's the most important thing. And so
You got a community. You got a community. You got a community. We're going to combine them right now.
Just open it up real quick and just see, maybe a couple people could share on what Dr. Ramani shared today, what resonated, what created an aha, what you learned. And if you're open to sharing it, I'm sure that would inspire someone else to maybe be vulnerable as well.
I'm going to predict that every single one of these people is going to tell deeply personal stories about someone in their life and how they are victimized by that person. And she is going to validate every single thing they say, whether it's insane or normal. That's my prediction, because that's in her best interest, to get these people to buy her book and to go, yes, woo, narcissism.
Okay. Yes, you. Can we get her a mic? Is that possible?
This is the no cut edit.
Ramani. 7 years ago, I read audiobooks.
Good to know someone.
I watched all your YouTubes. I've taken notes, I've journaled. You helped me bring a level of understanding and insight to a very painful on inside years, and to a narcissist whom I share 4 children with. And with all the information that I have, with all the insights that I have, with all the, even sitting in silence with what I've taken in, and
I'm such a jerk, but every time anyone has a question, I'm like, get to the point. Get to it, please, for the love of God. People, whenever they get a microphone, if you're not used to having a microphone, you get a moment to have a microphone, people just want to hold on to it as long as possible. I got something to say. I've watched all your videos, all your audiobooks, all your emails. Like, okay, girl, we get it. Get to it.
7 years later, I still get triggered. I still feel trapped. I feel like I can't break free completely from it. And
send her to a therapist's office. This is the problem. People in this audience probably think therapy's not for me. I'm above it. It's not for me. I'm going to go to Craig Siegel's business mastermind and cry. That's the same crowd that goes to Tony Robbins. They're above therapy. And then they're telling Tony Robbins they want to end their life. And they're expecting him to, solve it within 5 seconds. I don't get it.
I think part of it,
you can tell these people are emotionally unstable.
Is because I have children with this person, and he's kind of my co-parent, and I'm always torn between, but he's their father. He's their God-given father. And I'm torn between pushing them to have a relationship with their father, and then being like, he's gonna fuck him up like he fucking killed me. I'm constant battle in my head, and then I realize that I'm still fighting battles, scrubbing words and behaviors and manipulations of betrayal.
And again, what question are you asking? People just want to be heard, and it's like, go to a therapist's office. They will actually listen to you. You're obviously deeply desiring and hungering for someone to listen to you. You can pay for that today.
So many 6-7 years later, I'm still every day consciously having to scrub that off my being so I can feel free. And I have moments where I feel free, and then I have moments where I feel I'm still trapped.
First of all, thank you.
Give it up.
Yeah, your question.
My question is, all the work. I literally didn't have 10 words for years, and I refused to let it see my story. And I wanted to be better for my children, and I did the work. And I watched all the things.
She did the work, right? She's saying, I did the work. I read your books. This is, okay, actually, I'm getting triggered now. This is the exact position I was in 2020. I had done tons of these, seminar things, these yoga classes, these group classes, these meditations. I was talking to a life coach. I was doing all this shit in 2020, and I never felt could have gone to a situation like that and cried as well, because I felt so out of control in my life. I felt like everything was crumbling. Nothing was going my way. And I'm like, I've done everything. I've listened to Tony Robbins 24 hours a day. I watch Gary Vee, and I'm taking in all these advice, and I'm trying, and I don't know. And it's like, because you think you're doing the work. You think, because they tell you. Mel Robbins tells you doing the work is listening to this podcast. Doing the work is spending $1,000 to go to Craig Siegel's mastermind. Doing the work is listening to her audiobook. It's not. It's only delaying you from actually doing the work, which is starting to talk, and in my experience at least, open up about your life. All you're doing is listening to other people talk about their life. In my opinion, the work doesn't start until you get with somebody who's a trusted person who you can start to unpack your life with. It sounds like this lady ain't there yet, not a lick close. And she thinks because she's in the self-help space and this wellness bullshit personal development world that she's done the work. That's a dangerous place to be in, because you feel like you have no way out. That's how I felt, at least. Anyways.
Do you ever break free completely?
So let's break that down.
What is the remedy? Because
There's
like you said, I've been sick.
Let's move it off. No remedy.
I want to die.
There's
Like you said,
no-
die. I've been sick for years.
There's no remedy. So let's break out.
This is obviously a deeply, I don't want to say disturbed, but kind of disturbed person. She's in a crisis. This is not, such a serious topic to be delivered in such a nonchalant way with no clinical barriers at all. It's unhealthy for people. This is the thing I hate about this shit. And they just continue to do it. Go into a Mel Robbins event and she's talking about narcissism and she's talking about psychological issues and anxiety and depression. The people who are attracted to that need help deeply, and this is not the help. This is one random lady's 2 cents who is a narcissist, probably. Anyways, thank you to Carolyn. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Thank you for saving me from myself. Carolyn says, thank you for covering this. Her channel helped me a lot in the past, but then when I saw her on Tom Billy's podcast, I was so disappointed. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I've gotten from a bunch of comments tonight. And I didn't really watch her specifically too much, but definitely in the beginning I was listening to her too when I was looking at narcissist stuff, and I thought it to be helpful as well. So I don't knock anyone for listening to this type of content in a time of need. However, I think it's their responsibility, which they will not take. They will not live up to their responsibility of going, this is not going to solve your problems. This is shedding insight on possibly what is going on in your life, and actually possibly not at all what's going on in your life. Actually, you might be deeply disturbed and people are treating you, in your opinion, badly because you're abusing them. Who's to say? Because it's a one-sided conversation. That's the problem with all this stuff. Anyways,
I'm scared.
And secondly,
I love myself so much.
Direct quote. Also,
I'm spending too much time working, too much time giving.
Direct quote number 2. And thirdly,
I'm outside the Cheesecake Factory waiting for it to open.
So true, Carolyn. And thank you to Amy. Amy, thank you so much. As always, Amy says, what happened to the walk it off days? Now walk it off. Now walk it off. West side walk it off. South side walk it off. Is that what you mean?
I still have dyslexia.
Just kidding. I gotta get back into the fun mindset. That went to a dark place. You guys. We need to, let's get in the mango frequency real quick.
The mango frequency.
It's so quantum.
I'm a medium. I channel all day.
Am I the only hippie?
And finally, okay, I'm healed now. Thank you. Actually, I need one more. I need to burp it out. Blech.
I want to throw up. Hold on.
Okay. Back to it. Thank you.
That way of thinking, okay? I want you to think that there's no cure. See, first of all, I want to go back and try to remember as many things as you said here. Okay?
I don't give a shit about him.
No. We don't get. But I'm saying for you, there's no. When we say remedy, we almost feel like we're going to have this lifted off our shoulders, right? Let's talk a little bit about how trauma works. I'm going to go to the earlier part of your question. I'm still being triggered. Of course, you're still being triggered. This trauma system we have in our body it's perfect. It's really well designed. It is designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that's to keep you alive. That's it. That's what it does. It's not to keep you happy. It's not to keep you satisfied. It's not to keep you successful. It's to keep you alive. So it overcorrects. It's like having an ADT system on your house that goes off if a moth flies by the front door, right? It would drive you nuts, but no one's getting into that house, are they? Right? So your ongoing triggering. Number 1, this person's still in your life. I'm guessing some of your kids might still be minors. Okay, so some of your kids are still minors. The threat isn't gone. Think of somebody who developed PTSD in a war. They come home from the war. They're no longer sitting in Vietnam or Afghanistan or some other place. They're not in those places anymore. They're sitting here, home, theoretically safe. And they're still jumping out of their skin when a car backfires, when a helicopter flies by, when a door slams, right? And they're not in those places anymore, okay?
Yeah.
Why? Because that trauma system's keeping them safe. That poor person has to keep commuting back to Afghanistan and come back every week? Why are they still on that trigger? Because the body held it. In your case, you're doing the equivalent of commuting back and forth into the war zone. Okay, so the threat is always there. Number 2 piece here, okay? So the triggering is happening on an ongoing basis in some ways because you're still having to dance with the threat. Okay, so keep that in mind. And so things like grounding exercises, mindfulness, breathing, all of that will matter. Number 2,
You don't need to turn their dad into a hero. You just can't talk badly about him. That's it.
Good advice.
Full stop. You don't have to say your dad's a great guy. You just can't speak badly. You might say, why? That's not fair. No, it's not fair. But your children get...
Yeah, I agree. You should never talk badly about your spouse to your children if they are, you know, having to go over to his house and live there. Like, it's not going to be good. I agree with that.
Messed up. When you're their safe person, they still have to attach to their dad, okay? And if you, their safe person, is making the person they have to attach to unsafe, now you're a confusing person and their body feels abandoned by you, okay? So it's almost as though you either don't say anything, or when the kid says, gosh darn it, why do you have to go to dad's house, and say, what's going on? Like, how can I help you with this? Or they come back and say, Dad's always yelling, he's always so mad. Then you don't say, oh, that dad of yours, he's got a temper. You say things like, you know, it's a funny thing, grown-ups are worse at regulating their emotions than kids. And you do not, if a grown-up can't keep their emotions together, that's not a you thing, that's a them thing. You see what I'm using language like grown-up, not, or adult, not your dad, okay? There's that piece. But what about this last piece, which is...
Craig's getting real. He's taking his suit coat off.
What's the remedy? How do I get out of this prison, okay? The prison is, how do I feel fully free of this? I want to share with you something that a collaborator and a friend and I think one of the greatest voices in trauma out there, a guy named Dr. Gabriel Monte, has said.
Oh, Mate, he's another one that's... A lot of people love him, and he's controversial as well, in my opinion, because I think he's gone on probably a little less than her, but also on many of the grifter podcasts and all the red pill podcasts, and not all, but some of the red pill podcasts. I know Camellia really likes him. You know who Camellia really likes? And if you know who Camellia is, she's one of my friends from YouTube. She used to have a YouTube channel. We used to have a channel together. Camellia Kazan. She loves David Goggins. It's so weird. I always make fun of her and go, oh my God, you're insane. But she loves him, and she loves him unironically. And hey, to each its own. To each his own. And Crystal G, thank you so much, Crystal G131 says, thank you, Kia and Taro. Can I get a clear, clear, clear? Yes, of course you can get a clear, clear, clear. Hold on, I gotta find it. Click, click, click. Where is that?
It's so quantum.
As I was sitting in the cold plunge.
Click, click, click. That's a great question.
She cleans the toilets.
That's gross, TBH.
There's something I call bullshitting yourself.
You know what? Just for that, I'm going to find it on my computer and add it. Clear, clear. Because it is that gosh darn important. This is my narcissism. I'm going to find it. I am so talented in finding things. Okay. Hold that thought, Crystal G. I am going to find it, but I'm going to keep playing it in the meantime so I don't just have dead noise.
It's such a wise insight he shared with me recently. He said, Ramani, there's no pain-free path. There's no path without pain. And this is where people get stuck. They're like, there's got to be a way to get out of this that doesn't hurt. I'm like, no, you get out of it. I talked with someone in this audience. It's post-separation abuse. It's lawsuits and anger and rage and stalking.
Found it. Heard it.
Clear, clear, clear.
One more for the road.
Clear, clear, clear.
There you go.
You stay in it, and it's self-abandonment and emotional abuse. So these...
Thank you, Crystal G.
Neither of these paths are good ones, right? So what you did was so ridiculously courageous, because all the things you faced, you still made the choice for freedom, to give your children a different model, that people don't stay in relationships where they're being crushed. That was powerful. Now, that doesn't mean that people who stay are cowardly or foolish. They have had a different calculation in their decision, right? You're in this room today. There is a very, very strong community-seeking part of you. So it's not, now all is not lost. You're here. That's you. You came into this room. And there's parts of you that still feel trapped, mostly because you still got to interact with this person. But when you realize that this you, the you that's in this room, that's the part you're kind of trying to muscle up. Because she is authentic and she is aware, but I don't want you to have unrealistic expectations about where you can take this.
You show up as the best person, the best, safest parent that you can with your kids, and by and large, they're slowly going to learn you're safe, you're a place they can land, but it's going to be a bumpy ride with them. Your kids are going to be anxious because their dad is scared. I'm not going to sugarcoat that part for you, right? There is no pain-free path. Sometimes just those realistic, radical acceptance, awareness, expectations is enough to get us out of an unrealistic belief, because then we feel like we're failing. Right? The fact that you get up.
He's holding it on his poor audience member's head too.
The fact that you devoted time to this for you, the fact that you keep showing up for your kids, and the fact that you made that painful decision to step out, these are they've shown us such amazing strengths. The prison can last a long time, but then in a way we have to say, how often do I have the key in my hand? Can I stick my head out and say, okay, I can step in, I can step out? But listen, there's going to be a point in which you have less interaction with him.
Just so we take a quick second, this is the event. So this was the event that this woman signed up for, right? It says 2 months ago, 160 souls gathered at Glass House, Chelsea for CLS Genesis. It was a room full of people who decided they're done playing small. Okay, that's the grifter's slogan 101. Done waiting, done negotiating with their potential. You could feel it in the conversations, the breakthroughs, the energy, and in the intention behind every single speaker we brought into this space. There's something extraordinary that happens when the right souls get in the right room. Curated with care and precision, we're still feeling the ripple effect from that day. And now we're stepping into the final chapter of this trilogy, the Portal Genesis, now CLS Formation. I guess they had a Kabbalah guy come in too. Interesting. So that's the next thing. So that was the retelling. How did they advertise the last event? Imagine the propaganda it took to make you believe that. Believe what? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay. I guess that's it. So it's really about stopping playing small. Whatever that means is what this event is all about. Okay.
But for now, pay attention to how much you don't abandon. That's great.
My thing is that I was married for 25 years.
Yeah, that's a long time in the setup. Yes.
And I feel like over the course of those years, specifically the last decade or so, really chipped away at like my sense of self.
Yes.
And made me believe that I'm crazy all the things.
And you're not.
Like, what do you want her to do about this? Like, she's like, I'm just going to tell my story. And then you give her the mic back. Like, what do you want her to say? She said everything she can really say. She doesn't know you. Give the mic to someone else. I don't know. Like, go to therapy. Again, like, seek someone one-on-one. Go to see a spiritual counselor. I don't know. But, like, this is the wrong platform to be airing your laundry about your husband. I'm sorry.
And I'm fully aware of all this, good, bad, all the research you can just have. And I still feel like that it's unfair conditioning.
It is a condition. Still, he hasn't feel.
Hold on sometimes where I just really want to break. I feel like I can't fully come into my power and be that thing inside of me that I know wants to out. Because I'm this someone that is so fucking destroyed.
If you come out to your full power, though, there's danger in that too. We use the word think too much. The other day I had a client who's being severely narcissistically abused. She must have said I think 75 times in the session. And every time I tried to bring it to I feel, I think. We can research the hell out of things, right? But this is the feel. It's getting into this stuff that sometimes doesn't even have word to it. But part of it is, I want to come into my own power. I think I want to come into my power. You come in your power is actually your body is saying, girl, that's dangerous. Please don't do it. Okay? And
girl, don't have power. No power for you, girl.
So, and it's not using words, right? It's this, I need to stay small, like I said, so I don't get my head locked. That's what it is. And that awareness that this is a safety response. I'm not going to get too big, or I'm going to get, it's like the eye is going to be on me. Can't get too big. and you realize that's safety, then, it's like
I gotta take a screenshot. Craig, this is so funny. His best work yet. Oh, Craig, you crack me up, you big goofball.
This is gold, straight up.
the eye is going to be on me, can't get too big, and you realize that's.
It says, I want to come into my power. What does that even mean? That means getting rich by grifting other people, being a cult leader on a small level. In my opinion, that's what they mean by that. I want to have my own community of people I can tell how to think. That's what I think they mean by step into their power.
Safety. Then you can work on compassion for the self rather than I want to get into I need to get into my own power, which feels like you're challenging yourself instead of caring for yourself, which for 25 years you won't. So it's a twist in thinking. Instead of power, think about it as care. Because I'm doing this to be safe. Most people who've been through long-term narcissistic marriages or raised by narcissistic parents have had to learn to fully abandon themselves. Self-abandonment becomes how you attach. Silencing ourselves, suppressing ourselves, abandoning ourselves, then we can have a relationship, right? So that means coming into ourselves means we're going to be alone, rejected, or frankly in frank danger. So the body pulls back. No,
Who's
don't do that. And so you feel almost like mysterious pullback.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for opening up. Guys, I just really saved the time. I'm sure everyone will.
Oh, sorry about the ad stuff. So I guess YouTube has changed it now where they play ads. If you monetize, which I do, they play ads now. It was like a different setup. I have it set to medium, so we'll try low next. I won't ever put it to high, but this is the medium amount. Just FYI. We can try low next time.
Ether, maybe she'll hang out for a little bit, but I want to take 2 more and let you try it. I know it's very vulnerable stuff, so you shouldn't be delicate cowards.
Half metal alchemist. I did do that on the last stream last week. I went through all the not all the court documents, but a few of the court documents and watched part 2 of their love story. So if you want to watch that one, there is like a 2-hour-ish stream on that. I thought it was pretty juicy.
Say this, but let's just try EPUB like short and sweet so she can answer a couple, and then we'll go on to the next thing.
Keep it short and sweet, everyone. Stop telling all your trauma in this group setting on YouTube as well.
Time. Just gonna give it a like.
Hi, thank you so much for bringing awareness to this topic. I think you've opened a can of worms for a lot of people, obviously, but also a path to healing. So we talk a lot about the overt, arrogant, dramatic, attention-seeking narcissists, but what about those who aren't so obvious, who are the victim at any piece of feedback, passive aggressive, and so that's one part because the process is so different because the I'm crazy part.
This is so true, cowgirl. It says working at a library taught me people seriously just want to be heard by anyone, qualified or unqualified. It's really sad, but people are hurting so badly they're ready to trauma dump on anyone. Yes, 100%. And these types of events where there is a charismatic leader, or not even a charismatic leader, but any type of leader that's using buzzwords like play small, live to your potential, you're in your own way, all these vague terms about life is not that great for you. They are probably, a lot of them come very traumatized, very unheard, very sad, and very vulnerable. And they end up in situations like this where they're just saying everything that's going on. And it's like, this is the wrong setting. But they love those people because they pay money forever. They'll be in their funnel forever. They love them. Stay broken. That's what they hope.
Art is so different, asking for a friend. And
I third YouTube Premium. It is so worth it on my side too. Like it's 15, 13 something a month, which I know is not nothing, but it is. Since I got it, I so much enjoy it. Like never seeing an ad again has been so nice.
And also, why do we attract these people into our lives, whether they're overt or covert? Why do we attract these people into our lives? What's our makeup that's?
Because we're all human beings and we're all suffering in our own ways, and people are dealing with these issues the best way they know how, and it hurts people sometimes, but they're just people at the end of the day. They're not some sort of mutant human form that's attracted to successful business leaders only.
Draws that.
I'm going to address your second question. You don't, first of all, you attract them because you're attractive.
Okay, narcissistic people do not want to spend time with you who don't up their rant. Right. So let's take a moment and say, I'm attractive.
I don't think that's true, but okay.
Something about me, whatever it is, the way I look, the way I carry myself, the people I know, into my intelligence, they are not slumming. That is not a good look for a narcissistic person. So if you've drawn one in, you had some zazazoo. I love you also, you see that word. You have, so I think everyone thinks like, do I have a sign around my neck that says sucker? No, you have a sign around your neck that says all that, gorgeous, exciting. That's what they were drawn to.
I don't know about that.
Okay? It's almost like a parasitic power grab. And your power might be your youth, it might be your beauty, your intellect, whatever it may be. Okay? That's number one. So stop thinking that because this is more self-blame. I drew this really harmful person. No! You're attractive. That's what it was. And then what happened?
The universe doesn't make mistakes. Your vibes attract what you want most in life. So if you receive a narcissistic person, it's because you told the universe with your thoughts that that's what you wanted. AKA the secret, AKA the laws of manifestation. So actually you should blame yourself, girly pop. Change your vibes, change your life.
Stuff. There are things in our history that can keep us stuck in these relationships. Having been a victim of or having been a survivor of trauma, having been a survivor of abuse, having gone through these relationships even in adulthood in the past, history of adversity in childhood, being optimistic. Being optimistic is sort of a bit of a suck because you're like, everyone can change and everyone has light inside of them and I just gotta love them harder. Don't do it. Don't do it. You need to just, I wear my pessimism very big and it has gotten me out of many a jam. So the optimism, being forgiving. I'm gonna forgive everyone because that's holy. I mean, I'm gonna tell you now, God's job is to forgive, not yours.
I don't agree. I'm sorry. And I don't know how that's clinical either. Like, your opinion is you don't have to forgive people. Okay, well, my opinion is you should try to, if you can. I think there is a lot of benefits to forgiving people who've mistreated you in your life. Do you have to bring them back into your life? No. But to forgive them, to allow yourself to start to move on, I think that's a positive trait that doesn't mean you're a sucker, personally. But okay, I guess I'm wrong.
What if the building crumbled? And that's going to get back. But all of those things are what keep us stuck. The best parts of us are what keep us stuck in these relationships. Our empathy, our compassion, our kindness, our belief in second chances, loving this person. And then, of course, there's safety and attachment too. Now let's go to the second part of your question. It's not always arrogance, entitlement, a swagger, charm, charisma, confidence. Sometimes it's victimhood, being aggrieved, always being angry, always being irritable, blaming you for why things in their life didn't work out.
Okay, but couldn't you say the same thing about the woman who asked the question before? She's like, I can't step into my power, whatever that means, because my ex-husband is a narcissist. I can't be the person I'm supposed to be because of my ex-husband, blah, 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 blah. Isn't that what she's just describing now is a narcissistic trait to go, the reason I'm not more successful is this other person? Again, the way that she's describing this, I feel like everyone in the world can relate. It's like horoscopes. Someone said it in the comments earlier. I agree. It's like a horoscope, right? Like you can look at every single thing in the horoscopes and go, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me. That's not so much me. That's not so much me. But like all of it, if you think about it on a certain day, it is you because it's so vague and it's so dependent that it actually loses all of its relevance. Also, this is a hilarious screenshot. Many a girl in New Jersey received this exact image, minus the clothing, from Craig. Okay, sorry.
Being passive aggressive when they don't get their way, right? That's not so shiny, right? Those grandiose folks are actually kind of fun for a while. Like, they're like, let's like everyone.
Also, just for everyone's reference, please disagree. I do not mind at all. You are allowed to disagree and voice that. I have no qualms about it.
for dinner. And whereas the vulnerable, and this is these people who are more passive and victimized, the vulnerable narcissistic folks will say, why the hell do I need to take your jerk of a brother-in-law and pay for dinner? He's just a blah, blah, blah. And the grandiose person is like, let's just buy dinner for everyone in the restaurant because I need everyone to love me. It's kind of a better game, right? But in the vulnerable case, the challenge is there's often failure to launch, there's sadness, there's social anxiety. You feel like they can't tie their own shoes sometimes. So you may feel pity, grief, and guilt. If you think empathy is sticky, try those things. Because now you're like, I feel so bad. Oh, what are they going to do if I leave them? They cry. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know what? And then some might even make more leveled up threats. Like, I'm going to hurt myself if you do something, right? And so now you feel like, I can't go. I feel terrible. They can't tie their own shoes kind of thing. So the process of disconnecting from this is not only more confusing, because it doesn't feel like grandiose, like this person's going to be fine. A grandiose narcissist already has their new person waiting in the wings. You leave, they're dating this person the next day, and they claim, it's a coincidence, I met this person the day after my divorce. Did you? Yes. Okay? But in the case of this, these are people who for a long time, and many times people not only might have a partner like this, they may have a parent like this, particularly a mother like this. This is the form of narcissism that shows up in mothers. I did so much for you, but I guess now, bring it now.
Glass of water.
Yeah.
You didn't bring me a
You
glass
don't
of
need
water.
Or like, oh, well, I guess who has time for an old lady? I did so much for you. I give up everything. I give up my career for you, but I understand. I wouldn't want to spend time with me either. I understand. Vacation. What is that? Jamaica, Jamaica. You have your life. You have your life, and you have to get your hair done. Yeah, no, that's more important to me. I got this dementia that might come someday. So you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna go gray. Like, it's not that you want to spend time with mom. It's just.
Thanks, Peace Train Jump. Is that a mic drop homie microphone? I love it. It looks so beautiful. Craig. This is Craig. Real size. Oh, man.
Great comment. That's really cute. I love that.
Wait, what? I speak Spanish pretty well. Pinchos.
She looks scary.
God was like, you're done.
Thanks, Peace Train Jump. Okay.
You just want it to end. You want her to shut up. Okay? So then what happens is it's this constant surrender to shut the person up. It's still self-abandonment. The different burden you carry with a malignant or grandiose narcissist, it's more of almost sometimes even a fear. Fear of either the malignancy or fear of that they're moving on to a very happy future without me.
Her charisma is straight up off the charts.
So true.
The vulnerable narcissist is just you feel bad. And so you give in because you feel bad. I find for most people, the process of detaching and disengaging from a vulnerable narcissistic relationship is much, much more difficult, other than the malignant narcissistic relationships, which feel dangerous to leave. It's different.
This is how I feel about this. And I was trying to think of a good symbol that could kind of explain what I feel like. And maybe this is not fully exactly, but imagine learning how to swim for the first time. And you're watching videos online of people swimming. And you're like, okay, that's how you swim. Here's a stroke, here's this. And you watch the videos. And then one day you're pushed into the ocean. Do you think you're going to know how to swim because you watch a bunch of videos? No. And I think you probably would drown. That's how I feel about this topic, because it is so sensitive, it is so personal, it is so one-on-one, that if you're not actually doing the thing, and by doing the thing I mean talking about your situation to someone that may be able to help you, like a therapist or a psychologist or someone that's a trusted source in your life, you're not going to be able to even tackle the problem. And then something bad's going to happen and you're not going to know what to do. I don't know. It's not enough. It's a dip of your toe in a pond where you need swimming lessons to get through it. And these people who just go to these over and over and over again are not getting that actual lesson.
Different kinds of patterns, but it can make, especially with a mother, as that person goes into older life, it feels like the caregiving burden of, like, from Mount Olympus. It's awful.
The iconic Dr. Ramani.
Iconic.
I criticize on the news. Number one, I admire you. I love the way that you showed up today. Meeting you in person is, I didn't even get better from having a virtual relationship. You're amazing. I love the work that you're doing in the world. It's so meaningful.
Why would they have a relationship? Craig is nothing. Okay, whatever.
And the way that you share things today, I could see that there's tears, which is really special. I know that everyone wants a piece of her, would probably love to go deeper. For the sake of time, can't with everybody. What are you sticking around?
I'll stick around. Yeah.
Did you bring your book?
Did I bring? I didn't bring.
We're gonna be giving away some books. But also, how you recommend grabbing them? Support. Her book's amazing. I would even buy a second one for a friend or someone that you know that should value it.
He's never read it, and he doesn't even know the name of it.
She's gonna stick around for the sake of time. We're gonna take a 3-minute break. Then we're gonna bring on A-Top, but real quickly, I know that everyone in this room wants to go deeper. What's the best way for them to explore what you're up to, go deeper, stay more involved in your movie?
There's a lot of ways, as you had mentioned. There's a YouTube channel. There's books. I mean,
Look at how it ruined this woman's life, apparently. She's like, yeah, like the woman who was emotionally unstable and crying in the audience earlier, do what she did and watch me on YouTube for 5 years and feel actually worse afterwards, apparently. Yeah, that's what you guys should do.
and so there's that stuff that you can take at your own pace. We have the healing program for people who've been through these relationships, which is an intensive experience where we have workshops and question and answer sessions.
Wait. What is she talking now? Hold on.
Channel. There's books. I mean, so there's that stuff that you can take at your own pace. We have the healing program for
The healing program. Okay.
for people who've been through these relationships, which is an intensive experience where we have workshops and question and answer sessions and a remarkably robust community. We have something called the Dr. Ramani Network, which is weekly shows where we either have experts or just me answering people's questions. We have live programs, live retreats where people come together for a few days or even a week. You can find all of that on my website. So lots of different.
And right there, guys, you could just click that barcode.
Oh, there's a barcode.
Just click the barcode. He's a tech genius, everyone.
What's that?
Because you were also on Spiritually Hungry.
Oh, we
I was
have some good friends.
Yes, I was. Yeah, so we had the opportunity to have some great conversations. So you can find me lots of different places.
On any podcast you've ever seen, I've done an episode.
And yeah. So
Any final nugget that I didn't ask you, anything that you just want to leave with the world?
pay attention to when you find yourself self-abandoning just to be connected to another person. Love means you show up as a whole person. When you feel like the transaction is you have to equip yourself to be seen. I don't know if it's narcissism, but it's a really bad track, and it's going to silence your voice and limit people from seeing the light inside of you. So I hate to say please stop, but at least catch yourself when you're doing that. It's become such a natural way to attack.
Yeah, she didn't say, and I saw someone's comment, to be fair, what he asked was, how do people connect with you more? But I think this would be the perfect opportunity to go, if you're dealing with these types of issues and you're dealing with these types of people and you are convinced in your heart that this is what you're experiencing, please seek out a mental health professional so that you can get some one-on-one help. Because I'm just one person and can't do it all. And it's really great as a supplement to read my stuff and care about what I'm doing. But the real person to care about is you. And you should meet with someone in your local area. She didn't say that. She said, join my community where we do workshops. Yikesies. Laura, thank you so much. Laura 3412. Laura says, agree with you, Kia. Dr. Ramani's information isn't wrong, but self-help content is passive participation in healing. It isn't enough. Yes, I agree. And the big qualms with her, I got 3. 1, I think she's a narcissist herself. One that is smart enough to know how to try to make it appear like she's not, because she dropped that her New York Times bestselling book, how great it did on the list, but that she actually worked so hard more than other people and other people couldn't get on the list. But she told it in a way where it's plausibly deniability that she actually cares about what you think about that, which to me it seems like she deeply cares, plus the amount of episodes she goes on. Then her discernment on what types of podcasts she goes on. She goes on podcasts where they're talking to medical medium, right? One day they're talking to the medical medium and then they're talking to a doctor. So I find that to be, if you splatter yourself across the world, I just find it to be like, are you not doing any research? Do you have no ethics or standards for what types of, I guess she hates boundaries, so I suppose. And then 3, the topic is just so deep, and I feel like she goes so vague that it becomes meaningless to anyone really needing to do the help. And also, I think she could push therapy more. Those are my 4 qualms. And like you said, being passive in the self-help space. If you're just a person who's doing okay and you're kind of like looking to level up or whatever that means to you, I think it's fine. You could probably listen to some self-help bullshit and you'll be better for it, perhaps. But those aren't the people who typically are looking for self-help and are in self-help. People in personal development are deeply wounded individuals who need help beyond what they are going to ever receive in an event like this, in my humble opinion. And I have to say this.
My eyebrow stays on.
And also?
I'm outside the Cheesecake Factory waiting for it to open.
And also?
Humans.
And also?
We're gonna come and eat your children.
And also, this is my favorite.
Screenshot this glow up motherfucker.
Thank you, Laura. All right.
Let's stop the self-abandonment.
You're amazing. Thank you for everything. Give it up for Dr. Ramani and I.
She's amazing, you guys. Okay, let's look at her website. Your number one source of guidance about healing from narcissistic relationships. Disclaimer, this information is for educational purposes only and not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a healthcare provider for guidance specific to your case. Agreed. At least she's got it there. Okay, here's her thing. You can join her 2026 in-person retreats in New York, Croatia, and Massachusetts. What a spread. Okay. She's got the Dr. Ramani Network. Okay. Join the healing program. Okay. Therapists only. What's that? In-person events, courses, books, free reading guide. Join my newsletter, website. Okay. Do you need help navigating the narcissist in your life? Hi, it's Dr. Ramani. Don't wait another day to get the help you need. You're not alone. We will do this together. Let's start now. Okay, so she does have a podcast. Oh, look, she's talking to Gabby Bernstein. Oh, what a trusted figure in the mental health space. Oh, who's next? Mel Robbins. Oh, what a trusted figure in the mental health space. Why? Okay. I guess you can be a spirit. Gabby Bernstein believes that everything you do in your life and everything that happens to you is your fault and responsibility. And she talks to spirit guides in her brain all the time. And she's a grifter, in my opinion. Okay? Mel Robbins, you already know my opinion about Mel Robbins. Why is she going on these podcasts? Oh, Matthew Hussey, another one. He's fine, I guess. He's like a dating love coach. But like, why don't you talk to... What does this have to do with Because, okay, what is a dating coach and her going to talk about? Oh, and dates. You're going to find narcissists on dating apps. Okay. Oh, One Tree Hill Star. Okay. Anyways, okay. New series for mental health professionals. If you work with clients affected by narcissistic or antagonistic relationships, you know how complex and often misunderstood these cases can be. Most clinicians were never trained for this. Therapists Only was created to change that. After 20 years of clinical work, I built this series to give you the clarity, language, and strategies you didn't get in training. Why is it not in the training? I'm curious as to why you have special training that the schools don't. This series is for mental health professionals at every stage who want clear, practical guidance with tools you can apply immediately in session. Okay, I guess that's good, I suppose. Early access. Pricing. You can do $182 for the year or $19 per month. That's actually pretty low, especially if you're a professional. This is not meant to be supervision or formal consultation. No CE credits will be issued. So this is just for your own knowledge if you're a therapist. And I'm assuming I could buy it. Anyone can buy it, so it seems. But it's meant to help therapists indoctrinate into her beliefs. Okay. Let's see the healing program. This is join the healing program. It's difficult to get help and support when you are in or out of a narcissistic relationship. Many people don't have a place to get support, tools for healing, and to meet other survivors. This program is meant to be that safe space, a place to learn you are not alone, break the cycles of self-blame, and to explore your authentic self. How much is this? How much do you think? I'm going to say $400. Oh, yeah, about $400 for the year. Okay, $365. I was pretty close for the year. And then $35 a month, which I would guess is a little bit more expensive, but I can't do the math. Hold on, 35 times 12. $420. Hey, smoke up. So $420 if you pay per month, or $365 if you pay for the year. So that's all it's going to cost. I mean, to be fair, it's way cheaper than therapy, but you're also not actually going to be talking to anyone. You're just going to be listening to somebody talk about her thoughts. But here's the video.
Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani, and I want to share with you about my healing program for survivors of narcissistic relationships that not all of you may know about. This program is for people who have gone through all kinds of narcissistic relationships. It could be parents, it could be partners, it could be friends, workplace relationships, adult children, other family members. This program started over 3 years ago, and thousands of people have been through it. We have folks from all over the world. This program has grown and evolved so much, and I am so proud of it. Now, we originally started it because of demand from this incredible community of survivors. People saying, I need something, and there's not a lot out there. Now it's become something really unique. There's nothing quite like it, and it's very special. It's been one of the most inspirational.
Just like the narcissist thinks of themselves, but not me though.
And rewarding experiences of my career. It reminded me that healing always happens in community. Because I know how alone you feel. I've been there. I know how isolating it is, and I know it seems like there is no way anyone can understand what you're going through, because a lot of people around you aren't, and you feel so alone. And we are here in this program to change that. Every month in this program, I guide everyone through a new topic that's designed to help you in your healing from a narcissistic relationship. Really, the crown jewel of this program is our community platform. And we carefully moderate this community to which only healing community group members can join. So unlike social media communities, which can be a little bit more unfettered
and free,
this is a far safer space. As you come out of the shadows, this program really is about finding your voice, validating your experience, starting to feel safe, and understanding what these relationships are all about. If you're ready to start healing with the right support and with a wonderful and safe, secure community, please join us. You deserve this, and we will do the work together and heal together. I am absolutely inspired when I witness the healing I have seen from the people in this program. It's been absolutely...
So she does once a month. I don't know if they're live or not. One thing a month, topics, it seems like.
Absolutely extraordinary, and we have so many success stories.
Member benefits!
You'll receive a 1-hour virtual workshop taught by me, 1-hour virtual question-answer Q&A session with me, 3 journal.
But I wonder if there's thousands of people in here, which I'm assuming so, you're going to get your question answered? I don't know. I guess it depends if you're lucky or not.
Prompts every week, 1 guided meditation each month. There are companion worksheets, and we also offer a 2-hour bonus refresher about the basics of narcissism and narcissistic relationships.
I also think there's a certain point where too much information starts to hurt you. It starts to go in your brain of like, this is the only thing on your mind. You're filling up your mind only with narcissism talk. Like, if you need a monthly module and more modules about narcissism, it's like, it's too much. It's like having too much information about your body. Like, oh, I have to wear a glucose monitor now just to see what's going on. It's like, okay, you're becoming ill with too much information.
Please come join it. Check it out. See if it's for you. We'd love to have you.
She would love to have us. It's so nice. Yeah, what's the in-person? Okay, the Omega Institute, Radical Awareness as Survival, Healing from Invalidating and Antagonistic Relationships. That is June 19th through the 21st. for if you're a member of Omega, which I don't know what that is, but it's $355 or $445. It's a retreat. And you have to apply. What's Omega? I feel like we're going down a rabbit hole right now. It's just a cult. What's going on? There's little cabins. Oh no. About. We are a cult.
We're not a cult.
Sorry. Okay, I'm just curious. Do you think we'll figure out what this is by the end or no? Or it's going to be so vague you're like, I don't know what this is. Okay, Omega.
We live in a time not only of global possibilities, but also global challenges.
Yeah.
The need for hope and healing is urgent.
Okay.
The desire for connection and transformation is real. Omega is prepared to meet this moment.
Okay.
Yesterday, we were rooted in a few special places. Today, we're leveraging technology to offer skills and wisdom to everyone, everywhere.
So it's a course program. Retreat company.
We're elevating voices, creative ideas, and innovative solutions from around the globe. And we're strengthening our commitments to sustainability, equality, and justice. At Omega, we see a direct link between personal growth and social change. Our curriculum helps people connect more deeply to themselves, others, and the world we share.
This is giving Nexium. Anyone else?
There is no limit to the ripple effect we can create. For those who wish to
Maya Angelou is going to be teaching from the other side.
Step into the unknown, question the status quo, and think boldly, we share your hunger. The world is moved by people willing to stand a step ahead, from science
She has passed away too.
to the arts, from medicine to
So they recorded classes before their death?
spirituality. They breathe life into the human experience.
Yeah.
It's not easy to stand on the edge alone, but stand together, and there is no more empowering place to be. Omega is a global community that awakens the best in the human spirit and cultivates the extraordinary potential that
Uh-oh. They're on the grifter stage. Grow. Inspire. Stret.
exists in us all. Join us.
Awakening the best in the human spirit. Okay, yeah. It says it's a non-profit, donor-supported educational organization at the forefront of holistic studies, located on the more than 250 acres in New York's beautiful Hudson Valley. Oh my God! Rachel Hollis lives there.
What happened to dinosaurs?
Wait, what?
She can attend. Maybe her and Kez are Omega Institute devotees. Who?
Me.
Man. Teach, model, act. Holistic medicine and wellness. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This has got Rachel Hollis written all over it. Relationships and family in changing times. Cross-pollination of world music, art, literature, and creativity. Aging with vitality and conscious end of life. Integrative strategies for mental health. Acceleration of the natural foods movement. Uh-oh. Raw milk lovers. I don't know. Maybe. Whole systems thinking and business practices, environmental innovation and regenerative design, women's empowerment, dialogue between science and spirituality, yoga, mindfulness, meditation, okay, and holistic, whatever, history. Our founder, who's the guy at the Jonestown? Jim Jones, our founder. Oh, sorry. Oops. Omega began in 1977. Okay. By Eastern scholar Pierre Vilayat Anyat Khan, holistic medical doctor Stephen Rauschoffen, and educator Elizabeth. Okay, we're just going to search Is Omega Institute a cult? Someone must have had this thought already. The Omega Institute for Holistic Studies is not a cult. Founded in 1977 in Rhinebeck, New York, it is one of the nation's premier educational retreat centers. It operates as a nonprofit. Okay, but then the TripAdvisor says, review of Omega Institute, fraudulent practices. Okay. And then it says, these 7 cults are located right here in the Hudson Valley. I'm getting mixed messages here. Okay, this one says, recently I've been getting ads for those Shen Yun plays financed by the Fuan Gong, who have a big compound in upstate New York. Has anyone dealt with cults? I have a knowledge on the subject. From what I can find, here are the major cults of New York. The Omega Institute, Nexium, the 12 Tribes, Chen Tao, Word of Life. Oops. Sorry. Okay. And then someone says... No. I don't know. Okay. Too mixed information. What's this one? TripAdvisor. For any circumstance, Omega asks to keep a payment you've made as a credit. Just say no. I said yes in a gesture of good faith during COVID, and well, here's my story. I was an annual Omega guest, sometimes more than once a year since 2013. In early 2020, I booked a 5-day workshop plus an additional 2-day stay for a total of 7 nights in a private room. This came to about 2,100. Then COVID happened. Amid all my distress and financial challenges, Omega asked whether they could hold my deposit and offered to add a credit to it, which I could apply to programs or stays at Omega. Okay, so this person's just upset about their money. Okay, now that people say, truly magical place. Okay. Let me read this from WPDH. Ugh. I want to have my ads blocked. Okay. Omega. It says, this retreat center has been written up in the New York Times and has even made the list of 1,000 places to see before you die. With its own sauna. Wow, your own sauna, you don't say. Free Wi-Fi and luxurious accommodations. This place is more of a weekend getaway than a structured religious organization. Classes are offered in New Age religion, aromatherapy, Kabbalah, astrology, and crystals. Promotion of these controversial beliefs seems to be the primary reason Watchman Fellowship have added them to their list. Okay, that's the only reason? Interesting. And then it says, the Omega Institute for Holistic Studies issued the following statement in response to this article. I am writing to set the record straight. Omega Institute for Holistic Studies is not a religious cult. We are a secular, nonpartisan, nonprofit educational institution with a 40-year track record of being an economic pillar and environmental steward in the Hudson Valley. Each year, we see approximately 23,000 people come through our doors from all walks of life and with varied belief systems. People of all faiths and none at all come to Omega as a trusted source for lifelong learning and to study with thought leaders and social visionaries from across the country and around the world. Our teachers have included Nobel laureates, world-renowned economists and physicians, New York Times bestselling authors, that's Dr. Ramani, Grammy Award-winning musicians, Academy Award-winning actors, and prominent politicians. Okay, well, every cult has that as well, too, actually. Our key initiatives lend critical support to veterans, nonprofits, educators, women leaders, and environmentalists. As a nonprofit organization, Omega has received a gold rating from GuideStar for our commitment to transparency and accountability. Like, do you really need a nonprofit for crystal class? But okay, I guess do whatever you want. Robert Skip Backrus. Okay, who's this guy? Let's see what he looks like. Robert Skip Backrus. Okay. He's not beating the cult allegations. It's cult leader allegations. Uh-oh. Holy shit website. Okay. Sorry, we're going down a rabbit hill. Rabbit hill? What am I saying? Rabbit hole. Can poop save the world? Finally, the answers we're waiting for. The The CEO of the Omega Institute in Rhinebeck also manages the Omega Center for Sustainable Living, OCSL, an educational facility where people can connect to their environment and their wastewater. The heart of the OCSL is the Eco Machine, a localized wastewater treatment plant that does not pollute waterways, is a net zero energy system, and reduces 95% of drug residue in the water. It does it thanks to a combination of constructed wetlands, irrigated lagoons, organisms from all kingdoms of life, and the sun. I'm confused by this. It's a movie? Okay. So he seems like a hippie. Maybe that's all it is.
Am I the only hippie?
Who's that? I'm out of my depth here. Let's see. Instagram will help me. Oh, okay, so this is the more non-profit environmental part. But what about the Institute? Omega. Institute, New York. Here it is. Okay. A global hub for lifelong learning, spiritual exploration, and building a community of learners, thinkers, and doers, awakening the best in the human spirit. Hey, you know what? They all start this way, though. That's the only thing, because it's like, oh, what a wonderful thing. What if you were to look up Nexium 20 years ago, you'd be like, wow, well, it looks great. Dan Harris, he's a anchor. Yeah, this looks like a retreat center. Now, why it's a nonprofit, couldn't tell you. But that's where she'll be. Dr. Ramani will be there, if you're interested. Ram Das.
The predicament that somebody comes to me.
Isn't he controversial in some way? Says Omega, what were you like in the 90s? Are you ready? Canoeing. Swings. This is giving documentary footage. Someone's going to put this all together. And be like, everyone was thrilled to be here, but that was just on the surface. The truth was much deeper. And they show the guy driving up in a Bentley.
Everyone?
I've always, since I was a little kid, the one who was always like,
oh, Cheryl Strayed. Okay. Anyways, that was a little side thought. So it looks like, it's the borderline. Keep your wits about you when you go on campus. Make sure you're allowed to leave. But she's going to be there. And then she's also going to be an event at sea. You can get healed from narcissists on a boat in Croatia in September. Sign me up, Doc. We've really lost the plot again. Oh, the investment plan. It's not a cost. It's an investment plan. We invite you to exclusive luxury retreat aboard a 5-star yacht featuring a rare and uniquely curated experience for 30 participants in 15 beautifully designed double and triple occupancy cabins. The cruise offers high-quality amenities and meticulous details to ensure everyone feels welcome. Okay, couples and partners / friends discount $14,000 for 2 plus processing fees. But you can also do a flexible monthly plan for $4,000. Why do I need to go to Croatia? I guess I don't have to. All of this is optional, and it's always important to remember that. But if you got an extra $14,000 for you and your narcissistic husband, you can be told by Dr. Ramani that you're both perfect for the low price of $14,000. 7 days, 7 nights of onboard exclusive 5-star yacht accommodations, daily educational programs, 2 wholesome meals, breakfast and 3-course lunch, and a non-alcoholic beverage. You get dinner, maid service, jacuzzi, sauna, paddleboard, sea bobs, internet, deck chairs, sunbathing. Not included airfare, travel insurance, spa services, dinners in town, laundry fees, optional activities, alcoholic beverages, gratitude for spa services. I guess gratuity. So there you go. Oh, shoot. Okay, I have a phone call at 9 o'clock, which is very weird, but I'm thinking about getting back into freelancing. Heaven to Earth. Heaven to Earth also sounds like a cult. Children in conflict. Okay, we're going deep into the self-help cruise industry. I would like to explore that further in the future. And this is the Kripalu Retreat Center, Massachusetts. How much is this one? Navigating and healing from toxic workplaces. Okay, so she's really busy. She loves being busy. She's got a full year of stuff, plus everything else she does. She doesn't want to have time to think. I think that's what's going on. She's trying to escape her feelings of narcissism. Anyways, thank you, everybody. I do have to go, so I'm going to wrap it up. But this is my last week of painting class, so I'm going to share my last paintings next week. My final pieces. And then you can judge. You can judge away. You can judge me, but you can't be me. My paintings are the #1 New York Times best-selling paintings, but I only got that because I worked harder than everyone else. And that makes me really humble. See how I did that? You can do it too. Just try and believe. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate it. I see your comments. And I'll be back next week. Back next week, baby.
Demon. I'm going to send you so much love and so much light and so much good energy today because I feel like you need it.
So true. Bye. Okay, what are we going to listen to? Country? Hell yeah. Country music. Wake up, climb tree, then go to another tree, then climb that tree. Starry nights, EXE, climb that tree, then go hunting. Nicole Campbell, I light the candle of my eye. That's you, a console. You're making my life fonder and beyonder. That's what you do. Alaska Blood Tundra, I got something fundra to say. La 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 la, pandas in the forest. Lillian Massey, a wolf just jumped across the Atlantic. Those are silly things to say. Raba Bukabor, is your birthday in May? Oh baby, hey, Revelette Fuentes. I just saw the lenses of my glasses. They were foggy because I was crying. And Honolulu 7, I have to tell you about this fork that I got from the stork. He dropped it at my house. Olive Harper was there. And you saw me in my underwear. I was so embarrassed. Maya Sloan, why don't you call me on the phone anymore? Bone Palace Ballet 94. Oh my whore, that's not you. I meant to say, oh my lord, that's much more appropriate. Gracie Charlie loves cats. Tell me how much you love cats. Farley Bird, do you love cats as well? Meow, meow, meow. That's Taro. That's Taro. She says Gracie loves cats. Yay, yay. Farley Bird, yay, yay, yay. Okay. Goodbye.